Uncorrupt on a Thursday. Worthy. Got a lot going on today. Got a new card that's available in Standard. Also, the Vicious Syndicate report came out today, and I think there's supposed to be some card reveals at some point today as well. So things really heating up within the Hearthstone space, which is always exciting. I wanted to talk a little bit about this ETC Band Manager card. This came out in between the last time I was live, and I know a lot of people are experimenting with it now. But I kind of feel like my thoughts on this card are that the card is actually just bad, because you're basically spending 4 mana to do nothing. So you spend 4 mana, you discover a card. So I guess the good news is you get to select the cards that you discover by putting it into the band. But then you have to pay full price for the card. So a lot of people have been using it for like tech cards. Maybe they put in a Viper, you know, for weapon destruction, but then you're having to pay 7 mana to actually be able to do that. I feel like it's just way too slow. Lots of matchups your opponent would just ignore the 4/4 minion that's on the board. And overall, probably not good. Probably for any class is going to be what my guess is. We're going to have to see, you know, kind of how things shake out. But classes that I think it could be good would be limited to classes that can cheat mana. So I'm thinking like Druid, of course, Rogue, Death Knight, as well as, I think there was one more that I was thinking of. Oh, Demon Hunter. If you're running the Relic package in Demon Hunter, even if you don't discount the Band Manager itself, maybe you get enough other cheap cards in hand that spending 4 mana on this isn't as bad as, you know, potentially it could be. But overall, I feel like Band Manager probably isn't good. But I'm going to give it a try myself. I do think I want to change this, though. In Quest Druid, and again, like, it's just so expensive. In Quest Druid, I mean, at least you should be ramping, you have extra mana, you have maybe Innervates. Reno's probably not the deal. I'm not sure Silence is the deal, although, you know, for something like this, I'd probably be targeting, you know, something like Priest. But again, I mean, you're paying a total of 8 mana just to be able to silence the entire board. Not sure that that necessarily seems good either. Death Beetle, you might be able to find a way to get some sneaky lethal with the Quest Druid. You know, sometimes you're able to punch face and get your opponent low. This could give you just a little bit more damage if you've been able to get up to 11 mana through Guff in some way. But again, it's just so slow because of the 4 mana we have to play with the ETC. But I kind of wonder if maybe, you know, like cheaper cards are probably going to be the way to go here. So maybe like an Incarceration that's only 3 mana. And instead of Starfish, maybe we just run like the single target freeze/silence. Hey Jesus, nice to see you. I'm doing well today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Getting ready to try to climb the ladder a little bit. And also kind of keeping an eye out for new cards. I thought there was supposed to be a card reveal here about 20 minutes ago, but when I checked on the Hearthstone website, it was supposed to be like the Play Hearthstone Twitter, and it looked like they tweeted some kind of a map that was not a card, unless it's like some kind of hidden super special secret card. I'm going to take a look again. I really thought that the card reveal started today, but this thing kind of looked like a map and not so much a card. Just a little bit strange there. So just a little bit unfortunate, but outside of that, I think I'm just going to go ahead and get going in the game here. Haven't really played a whole lot since the last live stream. I'm still hanging around in the 800. So goal today, we're going to push into the top 500. And I'm just going to fire up the Quest Druid right off the bat. Quest Druid's an interesting deck, I think, in the current meta because I feel like the mulligan is significantly different based on the deck that you're up against, to the point that I don't even know what you would tell people for a general mulligan. Hey, Jon Snow. Nice to see you. Do you feel like playing Aggro Mage? That's funny. Aggro, Frost Mage, Jon Snow. You got a thing with the snow and the cold and the ice, John. But, I don't know, maybe. I got kind of burned out on Aggro Mage just from playing it so much in the months past. To me, this is like the most stale time of year for Hearthstone because you have decks that have been around for a really long time that you played for so many months. You know, we've still got Miracle Rogue hanging around, you got Frost Mage hanging around. Warlock feels like it's been the same, you know, Imp or Imp Curse deck for so long. So Hearthstone kind of stale until the new year hits and we get the core set rotation and then the old sets rotating out. Maybe that'll shake things up.
blessings of nature.
So I'm assuming that this is going to be Shadow Priest. If it's any kind of like Control or Slower Priest, I think we just auto-win. As far as the mulligan here, against Priest, I feel like you really need to have Rake, and you really need to have Park Panther. I feel like Park Panther is kind of a sleeper card in the mulligan against aggressive board-based decks. It just helps you keep the board clear, and then I feel like you can find the ramp later on. So I think I'm keeping Seedsman, but I'm actually thinking about tossing Guff here. And Guff has a historically high win rate when it's kept in the mulligan, but against a deck that just wants to punch me in the face every turn, this is in my hand on turn 5. I probably can't even play it on turn 5. And you don't even have to have Guff to be able to win. So I'm going to toss it. It might actually be the biggest mistake that you've ever seen somebody make live, but I kind of don't think so. I need stuff to be able to fight for the board. Again, if it's Control Priest, I'm just going to win anyway, which it actually is. So, I mean, I'm really expecting to win this match. So now at this point, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of sad that I didn't keep the Guff. I was really expecting, you know, like Shadow Aggro Priest, but it should be fine anyway. We'll get the Guff back. We'll find a way to be able to kill our opponent. Nourish is a nice top deck here. So we'll even be able to go turn 3 Seedsman into turn 4 Nourish. It's going to be great. And I think I'm just going to take the aquatic form here. And I can actually just go ahead and play the aquatic form to be able to get the other copy because I already have my play for next turn. Kind of disappointing to see all these. This could actually be the one that I draw anyway. So I'm going to take the Rake. At least we have both copies of Rake in hand. Could find some kind of a use for them.
Time has come to dethrone our former master.
And then I'm just going to keep to the plan here. Coin out the Seedsman. So against, you know, like Control Priest, we don't have to really worry about our opponent pressuring our life total. I do take back what I said, though, depending on which version this is, and I'm afraid it's going to be the tough version. When they're running that Plague Spreader zombie, if they hit our combo minions, it can potentially be really bad for us. Well, not potentially. If they hit our combo minions, we actually just can't win that matchup. And I'm just going to go ahead and get this guy off the board. Don't really need face damage. We're going to be able to win with the Astalor combo. But I kind of hope that I can get the Astalor combo, you know, all at one time without losing to a Plague Spreader. So I may even want to actually hold on to minions in hands that Plague Spreader has other targets. And we see our priest opponent doing priest things. Again, I mean, they're largely doing absolutely nothing. Our game plan is just to ramp and draw cards. That's actually going to draw 3 right there. So we can go this. And then we can go Park Panther, trade into the 1/1. We can rake this guy and actually be able to get some damage face. But we're going to draw cards here. It's going to be the most important thing. Again, what we're worried about is Plague Spreaders from our opponent. And we actually have the Band Manager in hand, and you can't see it on the deck tracker, but the Band Manager, I think the card that I'm most interested in the Band Manager right now would be the Incarcerate. So if they play a Plague Spreader, and they can't actually kill it with like the Light It Burns the turn they play it, I'm going to put it to sleep, and that'll buy us a couple of turns where we don't have to worry about it. And then I'm just going to make the rest of the turn exactly as I had planned. It's going to complete part 1 of the quest. It's going to clear the board, so they're going to have to play an extra minion to have a target for Cathedral. We do know they have minions. They got the switcheroo here, but I think it's going to be okay. I'm going to rake this guy, and then the damage is going face. So as long as we can hit an Innervate, we'll still be able to hit the combo. Once we get to 10 mana, you only really need 11 mana to be able to pull off the combo. This ends up being pretty good for them, but it's not like, you know, game-changing or anything. It's just kind of like going through the motions. Like, this play really isn't all that important for them or for us. So, it's just totally fine is what it comes down to. We hit the Seedsman here, and so Seedsman guaranteed draws Innervate, because we've already got both Nourishes in hand. There's only 4 nature cards. And I think we really just want to draw more cards in the form of Nourish here. It's not going to overdraw, which is nice. So we're going to draw, and we actually draw one of the Innervates as well. And, I mean, we can just clear the board if we want to. And it's also going to... If we clear the board with this, we complete this portion of the quest and draw another card. So I may actually have to play the Aquatic form to select my top deck, which would be a little bit unfortunate. Or I could just go ahead and use the Innervate and put out this guy. It doesn't matter all that much. I think the important thing is that we're drawing a card, but we can't afford to burn a card. And I waited a little bit too long with the rope here. I got a bad habit of doing this when I start talking. I'm going to hit there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and Innervate out this 1/1. Only 11 cards left in the deck. We still need Astalor and we need a Nubricon here to be able to hit the combo. And at this point, we're also going to have to hit our other Innervate as well, since we don't have Guff. They actually play Spammy of their own. That's pretty interesting. That doesn't really mean all that much. Going to start with the Dredge. We take second Dredge. Gets it out of the way. Allows us to see another card. Cold Tooth Mine is going to allow us to draw the Anubricon, so we're going to do that. And now we really just need Astalor, so it's going to be a 3 out of 7 to hit the Astalor with the Moonlit Guidance. I can play this first, which will guarantee draw and Innervate. But then I wouldn't have the mana to be able to play the Astalor. I'm going to need to be able to play the Astalor this turn if I hit it. And we also need to draw the Innervate, so unlikely that I'm actually killing them next turn, no matter what. Anything else we would want? We need Innervate, we need Astalor. It's going to be, at best, a 2-turn lethal here. I hit the Astalor, so I am going to just go ahead and play this. And this actually gives me a second Astalor, which is going to be just fine. That's actually going to be really good when we think about the Plague Spreaders. So, I'm going to make the play like this. We're going to punch face. We're actually going to burn a card here, as long as it's not Innervate. Then we're happy. If it is Innervate, we do still have the Guff in the deck, but we would have to find that and be able to play it before we can get the OTK here. We got a full hand. It's the best we can do against the Theatar. We'll have to see what they hit. I'm assuming they hit a combo card because of how quickly they picked. But because we have 2 Astalors, they hit our Bran. So we do kind of need Guff at this point. We can't get our Bran back. But we do still have 2 Astalors. So ideally we would like to develop armor. We need to get the Bran out of our deck, and Bran is actually hiding from us this game, which is unfortunate. But I can go... I can actually complete the quest here as well, which could be relevant just to push that damage face. So I want to go ahead and draw the Innervate. That's going to thin our deck just a little bit. We also know we should be hitting the Guff soon because we know that both Pounces are on the bottom. So I'm going to make the play like this. And I'm going to rake the bigger guy here. I'm just going to go ahead and hero power, and I'm going to send all damage face, I think. Not really concerned about this minion that's on the board. And then we can pass it back. So again, we know both Pounces are on the bottom. We've got a 1 out of 2 to be able to hit Guff. If we miss, we're actually just not going to be able to draw it next turn. We know it would be coming the following turn. Probably more interested in gaining armor at this point than gaining mana, just because the Guff is coming so late here. So it's been kind of an awkward game. Our opponent potentially setting up their own Astalor play as well.
Light cannot exist without the dark.
Spirit God is fine. We actually hit the Pathmaker. So pretty unfortunate there. Let's see, this would put us to 15. Could go a noob. Let's see. Just playing 2 Astalors is going to be 28 damage. Maybe I set it up. We can go like a noob, Guff the Tough, and then we would have the Astalors. They're going to be peeling off a lot of our damage here, though. This is actually gain 8 armor, which is going to be nice, though. So our play is going to look like this, and then I'm not going to swing. So I'm trying to maximize armor to be able to maximize the Anub. So I'll be able to go like Anubricon, Guff. Still gonna need to get this in hand. I'm struggling this game. That is unfortunate. I think I misplayed this at some point. Losing the Bran was really tough to the Theotar. We had a 10 card hand as well. I think we might still be able to find a way to get there, though. It's just taking a long time. Now I don't even remember what I had in the band manager. It's too bad that it doesn't show in deck tracker. I had Incarcerate, I had the Silence and Freeze. Let's see, they're at 31. What I need, let's see. I need 13 mana. 12.
Rest easy, child. You are safe now.
It's a little bit tough. Alright, so here's the Guff. And we know we're going to draw the Pounce next turn as well. So I can go Guff, Ramp. But I almost need to play the Astalor as well. I need to be able to play 2 Astalors, the big ones, plus Guff the Tough, all in the same turn to be able to kill my opponent, I think. And I need this Innervate to be able to make that happen as well. Which means it's not going to be happening next turn. Because I won't have both of the big boy Astalors in hand. Or if I go... I can go Guff first, then this guy. That's the play. And if I overdraw the other Pounce, it's fine. I don't need to throw anything away here. Actually, I don't need the Innervate because 13 mana is going to be perfectly fine. So I can throw away the Innervate, get the second Pounce, and that's going to be even more damage that we're able to put into our opponent's face. I waited too long to do this, but I'm not really interested in the card anyway. I guess it's best that we actually got this, just in case we are a little bit short on damage, because it is going to be active. Massive struggle against Control Priest here. But I think we've got a plan. We're going to go Guff, then we'll be able to play the Anubricon, and we should be able to play 3 copies of Astalor, so no Bran, but it's still going to be 28 damage coming out of these guys. Plus, we're going to be able to hit our opponent in the face for quite a bit. Not quite sure if it's going to be enough damage to be able to kill him next turn, but it's still going to be the play no matter what. I'm not even going to try to do the math here. So we're going Guff. We're going Anubricon. Our board could get cleared here as well. And we're going to go this Astalor, this Astalor, this Astalor, and then we can go Pounce, Pounce, and push face with whatever damage we have left. And then the following turn we'll be able to play the Death Beetle and hopefully have lethal from there. Unfortunate that this survives though. That's going to be a little bit of healing for him. But it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Damage goes face, of course. So, I mean, they can potentially play like a, say a Whirlpool here, but if they do, it's going to remove their own Astalor. Better word, Ruin. We're actually coming up short on damage. We just lost. I misplayed that game somewhere. First game of the day, rough, man. But we'll get there. They never even played a Plague Spreader. We lost exactly to the Theatar stealing Brand from a 10-card hand. But it is what it is. Oh, and 1 on the day. First game took like 20 minutes. And that's like the worst feeling in the world. How do you feel about that when you play a Hearthstone game? To me, Hearthstone is a game that's designed to be played, you know, 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 12 at the most. And then I get stuck playing these 25-minute games and lose. That's just a really bad feeling. I feel like I should have been able to play 3 games in that amount of time. I always kind of wonder if I'm alone in that or if other people feel the same way. I just like Hearthstone when it's shorter games.
The unholy fest.
Up against Rogue here. I'm assuming that this is likely a Scarecrow. And what I mean by Scarecrow is no brains. No brains, no heart. Just kind of hoping that they win Hearthstone by rolling good jackpots and good reconnaissance successes. And unfortunately, we get a bad start here as well. Blood Decay and Control Priest are annoying. Guess that's why many people play aggro. If I throw this out, I feel like it just dies. I think I'm just going to Hero Power here. Because they always have Serrated Bone Spike. So I put this out, I float a mana, and it just dies. So now my turn 3 can at least be this and a Hero Power. And then I'll be able to remove that. Or it could just be like this and Frost Strike. I do think I want to remove this because I don't want him to Shadow Step it for additional secrets. So I'm going to Frost Strike and I'll go ahead and play this guy this turn. And I'm going to take the Overseer for the card draw here. So turn 4, probably School Teacher, and then turn 5 we've got Location and the Noggling that's coming off of this. They always have it. I'm pretty sure that you keep Serrated Bone Spike in the mulligan anyway when you play as Rogue. And that's just kind of unfortunate. I mean, the question now is, I guess I have to play around Objection. It's just so ridiculous, man. They get one Mage Secret, and it's Objection every time. And when it's not Objection, it's Counterspell. Like, they only ever get offered the 2 best ones. Again, Scarecrow. And it looks like our opponent is high-rolling this game already. So it could be that we're going to struggle here. We're going to find a way. None of this is good. I don't really want to spend corpses. Like, this isn't good, but it gives extra corpses for the Marrow Manipulators that we know are going to be coming down. I play Bran in the deck as well, so potentially we're going to have like a Bran Marrow Manipulator play to be able to put out a bunch of... to be able to put out a bunch of damage in a single turn. Next turn, we're just going to play the Overseer. Draw 2 Frost spells. We still have 4 in the deck, so it should be good. Secret's underrated. The only thing about secrets is that they are... Mage secrets are only good in Rogue when they're discovered randomly off of Sketchy Stranger. And when they're replayed by, like, Contraband Stash and the, when they get replayed by Contraband Stash and, the Tess. So, not good at all, in my opinion. I think I just, if I draw with the Overseer, it still leaves them 2 minions on the board and the 4-attack weapon. This does shoot 5 times, but it's not great. I mean, if I go... I could go Construct, Quarter, Egg, and remove this.
I'll find the answer.
Again, my board still just dies. I'd probably rather have the Frost spells in hand. Take a little bit of damage here, but it should be okay. And actually, because we hit Horn of Winter and Frost Strike, I can still remove the 6/3. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to take an additional copy of Frostworm's Fury here. So once we get to a point where we can hit our opponent in the face, I mean, we can already freeze the board 2 turns in a row, which makes it a lot less likely that we die, and then we have 5/5s that can punch face. So we're kind of making our way. This is going to be active, though. Summon a 3/3 with the taunt. It's nice that you can see the corpse counter. I feel like this is something that's been recently added. You didn't used to be able to see your opponent's corpse counter if they weren't Death Knight. Alright, we hit a grain crate. So if I go Location, Egg, and Hero Power, go Thessarian. Hopefully Thessarian hits a minion here.
I'll find the answer.
But even just play like the Marrow Manipulator and the Foul Egg. Set up for next turn a little bit. Should clear the board. At least a decent chance to clear the board, plus damage face. We still have another Manipulator in deck. It's a decent sized minion. I think that's going to be the play. And this sets up next turn to potentially be like a Location and Thessarian play. And then we'll be able to target the egg for the rusher. One other thing to keep in mind, though, is we're going to be coming up on the turn 8, which is when our opponent could play Scabs. If they bounce everything back to our hands, it can be a little bit of an issue. Opponent just takes the damage. Kind of like to see that.
Useful.
So I'm going to have to throw away the Chill Fallen Baron. We know that this is objection because they've already gotten it once. And then I'm going to have to fight my way through this stuff as well, which doesn't feel great. Other option is just like Location Hero Power. Don't worry about the objection this turn. We'll be able to take a trade here with the Rusher, and then we can go Boom and Hero Power to remove the taunt. Looks a little bit of mana, but I think I like this play a little bit better. Ideally, I'd like to see maybe like one of these 1-drops just to be able to play out into the objection so that I could use the Chill Fallen Baron for card draw. I mean, I guess I could just throw away a School Teacher, but that's going to be like half of our turn just to get rid of this guy, or rather to get rid of the objection. Opponent choosing to go somewhat low here. I wouldn't mind throwing away ETC, although I think I have an Astalor in here in this list. Astalor, I think I got one of the weapons, the Might of Menethil for the freeze. going to freeze face here. This sets up lethal. If our opponent has scabs, they're going to get back an additional copy of Astalor. But we know they're already running Shadow Steps anyway. If they can't address this, we just kill them with second copy plus hero power. But they still have one more stash and a test that's going to put the taunts in the way, which would be bad. Here's the Shadow Step. Do hate to see that just a little bit. And it's going to be coming out next turn. They're potentially going to be able to clear our board with the 8-mana version here. Hey Sass, what's in the ETC? In the ETC, I've got Might of Menethil, the weapon that freezes. I've got... And that's... let's see, it's Might of Menethil, it is Astalor, and it might actually be a Silence. That'll draw our last Frostworm's Fury. Sacrifice this, drop this guy. Then I can kill this guy. But on, I mean, 2 turns in a row, they're going to be playing the 8/8 version of Astalor that's going to clear the board and or do an insane amount of damage to us here.
I'll find the answer.
The citadel stands strong.
Understand the code.
So again, it's not looking good because of the cards that our opponent was able to randomly generate. Oh, they didn't have the corpses. So I can hit here. I think I'm just going to get down the Thessarian. I'm probably going to have a freeze for next turn. We actually hit face here as well, so potentially if they just play Astalor, we can kill them if we get the correct top deck. That's what they do. Hopefully this goes face. It does. And this survives, so it looks like we're actually going to be able to kill him here. Just with this and a hero power. Yeah, he's having to swing into it, so we end up winning the game, but again, this game just feels frustrating because it didn't, I don't know, it's just not fun Hearthstone. We would have won the game, like, significantly sooner based on the random stuff that our opponent generated. So, I mean, the objection was really good. I guess, in all honesty, the Deathbringer was maybe a little bit questionable. I mean, we don't know what our opponent was offered, but... Can we get your opinion on the new cards revealed so far? Would love a review of the new set. I don't think they've revealed all that much, other than just like the Priest cards, right? I was actually expecting that there was going to be a card announced. Well, there should be a card announcement at 2 o'clock, or there's some kind of announcement based on the thingy-dang. Let's see. Oh, I gotta do streamer stuff, man. Dee-dum-dum-dum. Oh, and of course I actually gonna struggle. Of course. Alright, I'm sorry. Uno momento. And let me see if I can pull up something relevant here. Okay. So I was expecting an announcement today, but this goes to like some kind of a weird thing. So at 2 o'clock we may get a new card. Outside of that, I think it's only just been like the 3 Priest cards, right? Curious what you think about the new mechanics and such. Let's see. Not totally sure exactly where that announcement was. It's got to be here, right? Yeah, here we go. I don't even remember what the new mechanics are. Oh, finale. Finale's going to be interesting, you know, just kind of depending on the cards that they print. The funny thing is, though, you should be spending all of your mana every single turn anyway. And so Finale is just kind of like a bonus that you're going to get if you order your cards in the proper order, like by playing the Finale card last and spending all of your mana. So it's going to depend, I guess, on how strong like the Finale text on the cards are, but it feels like you should be able to get this like every single time. So if the Finale text isn't like naturally weak, then Finale cards are going to be insane because you're almost guaranteed to be able to get that effect. I mean, first of all, you get a power bonus every turn that you spend all of your mana, and then secondly, you get an extra bonus by playing the Finale card last. So Finale could be pretty good. Oh, it's a lot more than 3? Hey, Carlo, nice to see you. Reveal starts tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Yeah, it was, I'm not sure what's coming out today then. There's like something in like 8 minutes and then something in an hour and 8 minutes, but I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know about this. As far as this Death Knight Legendary, Rainbow decks are probably going to be weak. And then keeping in mind, too, that this card is actually 10 mana, so it's probably going to be way too slow to actually see play. It's just so expensive. Plus, I'm not totally sure how good that's going to be. I mean, you do summon 2 big minions, but a lot of times just big stats on board isn't enough to do anything in Hearthstone. But also keeping in mind, there's a lot of things we don't know because the core set hasn't been revealed, and a lot of things are rotating. So it's going to be hard for anybody to be able to judge cards right now without that kind of information. But right off the bat, when I see a card that costs 10 mana, I just feel like it's probably going to be too expensive and not do a whole lot. New keyword, Overheal. So this, it's going to be an evergreen addition to Priest when you Overheal. And I kind of wonder, like, does Overheal only happen one time, like in the entire life of the card? Or does it happen every time? Because I kind of think about, you know, a Priest deck. A lot of times you'll see a Priest that will play Gift of the Nauru, and it heals every minion on the board, right? So if Overheal affects enemy minions, okay, it only affects this minion. Overheal is probably not going to be that good then. It only affects one single minion. I assume that means they can happen every single time, though. But like, you play this guy at 4 mana. He goes down to a 4/4. And then you have to heal him for 5 minimum, just to be able to deal 5 damage to a random enemy minion. So again, it's going to depend on the core set, but doesn't seem great right off the bat. Overheal, if they're on smaller, cheaper minions, and we have easy ways to be able to damage them and heal them back up, then maybe. But typically, like, Priest class cards aren't all that great anyway, so I'm assuming it's not going to be all that strong. We got some new weapons here. I think this is a Paladin weapon. No, that's a Rogue weapon combo. Now, here's the other interesting thing about the card. I guess this is the Rogue class color of black right here. But when I look at this, I thought maybe it was Paladin because I see a little bit of yellow. So right off the bat, I would say, like, the way this card is designed, it's hard to tell what class it's for. Every time I think enemy, not enemy minion. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this particular card is going to be all that strong. I don't think Overheal is going to be that good either, but we'll have to see what the other cards look like. But I mean, what do you guys think? When you look at the art on this card, are you able to tell what class it's for? Because I'm kind of not able to tell what class that is for. I already botched it. Death Rattle, refresh a mana crystal, play combo cards while equipped to improve. So I guess, you know, 3 mana for a 2/2 weapon isn't great. You only get 2 swings with it. So, you know, with this weapon, your plan is to equip it and then play a few different combo cards so that you can cheat mana. This feels like a really mild form of mana cheat. So it doesn't really look like it's going to be overpowered, but it also doesn't really look like it's going to even be good. Again, not knowing what's going to happen with the next core set. Arcanite Reaper. I'm assuming this is a Death Knight. It kind of looks like a Death Knight card. Oh, And it has a rune on it, so it is a Death Knight card. But again, I'm having to look for context clues like, oh, the card says combo, it must be rogue. Oh, the card has a Death Knight rune on it, it must be a Death Knight card. It just doesn't... I don't know, they don't look like class cards for Hearthstone, which is interesting. I'm going to 1/1 Lifesteal Undead. Change health on your turn while equipped to improve. So you could play this, let's say you play it in control, like in Blood Death Knight. So you have this in hand, maybe you swing with it, and then the following turn you can like Vampiric Blood, you could Blood Boil. Imagine this if you Blood Boil though, like you have this, you Blood Boil an enemy board and you heal, say 3 times, they have 3 minions. Then you're going to summon a 4/4 Lifesteal Undead. So again, it doesn't seem super strong, but keeping in mind that all those sets that are going to be rotating and having a new core set, the power level in Hearthstone is going to go down. So stuff that looks bad compared to what we're playing now could actually be pretty good. I'm expecting the next meta is going to be extremely board-based, and again, just a lot of the power is going to be gone because of losing so many sets. So I'm really expecting like board battles in Hearthstone. What do you think about that? Fight for the board, minions on the board, trading. I think that's kind of what we're going to be in for. Either that or Death Knight as a class is just going to be totally overpowered because they're not losing any cards whatsoever. They had to like start the Death Knight with cards that put it on the same power level as the other classes because it had just come out. But then now they may actually have to they might actually have to nerf some of the Death Knight cards to get it back in line with what the other classes are going to be post-rotation. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm sure they're going to have their hands full. The weapons are always confusing. It's confusing me. I've never looked at a weapon and felt like I couldn't tell what class it was. Harmonic spell swaps between harmonic and dissonant modes. Each turn they're in your hands. So that's almost like a Thaddeus type thing. Will you keep the tempo or play to your own beat? Follow the rhythm to maximize their impact. Death Knight cards again. Give 4 random minions in your hand 2/2. Typically hand buff stuff isn't all that good unless you have a lot of rush minions. So when I think about hand buff, you know, Paladins had a lot of hand buff stuff. Wasn't necessarily all that great. But Rush Warrior did a lot of hand buff type stuff. And it was actually a good deck for the time that it was in because they had a lot of minions that had rush. So you could have these bigger minions that could immediately impact the board and start attacking. But generally speaking, it feels like hand buff just isn't a very strong archetype. And then if it's on the dissonant side, then it looks like it cuts the power in half because it's only going to be 2 random minions. Be interesting to see how that plays out, but again, I'm just kind of down on hand buff as an overall mechanic. It doesn't have a very strong history. Soloists are minions that get special effects when you control no other minions. Clear the stage and let them shine in the spotlight. Typically, these style of minions are bad just because there's almost always another minion on the board, either on your opponent's side or... You know, a lot of times we want to develop our own side of the board. Control no other minions, deal 3 damage to all enemy minions. So this is a Warlock card. So 5 mana, AoE the board for 3. So it's... This card might actually be pretty good. Just the fact that the text on it is kind of like a board sweeper rather than gain extra stats. I feel like this card could actually be pretty good. In a slower Warlock deck, maybe Handlock or something like that, where you're not going to be putting a lot of minions on the board in the early game anyway. That card might actually be pretty good. Then we got the login infos. Signature cards, these are too like bright and rainbowy for me. They still don't look like Hearthstone cards, but I like these better than like the grayscale cards that they had. I don't know. What's your opinions on this? I mean, they just don't look like Hearthstone cards. They're too bright. The color scale is almost a little bit off. Does the 10 mana DK card upgrade while still in your deck? If you generate it, does it count corpses spent before it was created? If so, could be gross with a small spell pool and fledgling meta. Yeah, that's a good point as far as the early meta and a smaller spell pool. It's randomly improved by corpses that you've spent, so I don't have like a specific answer that I can tell you guaranteed this is true. I would assume that the game is going to keep track of how many corpses that you've spent over the course of the entire game. So potentially you're putting out I'm assuming what gets buffed is the stats. So if you've spent 10 corpses, you're going to summon 2 11/11s. Would be my guess. But I'm not totally sure about that. Hey, Bluebell. Cheap Tamsin sounds good. Yeah, Cheap Tamsin does sound good. And of course, Tamsin is going to be rotating. The hero card is going to be gone, so it is a little bit cheaper, but... yeah, I think this card could actually do pretty well. You can't generate it or discover it. Jesus, I think you're right. I saw something on Twitter about that. They said, first of all, like, you can't generate it by playing Frost Strike. So, like, a triple Frost deck can't discover this. They felt like it was going to be too powerful. So, only one copy, and it has to be included in your deck. So, I'm assuming that's probably another nod to just, like, the size minions that it's going to be able to put out. So I'm thinking it's going to keep track of every corpse you spend in the game, but I don't actually know for sure. We could actually tweet it at one of those Hearthstone balance folks. Poor old Uncorrupt probably doesn't have enough clout to get an answer, though. Poor old Uncorrupt. Lacking just a hair in the clout department, but that's alright. We still have a good time. I'm going to hop back in the game, man. We've played 2, we're 1-1. We're better than a 50% player. Between the all of us, surely we're good for like 51% wins. One more mana, you also drew 3 cards. That's true about the Tamsin cheeses, but you'll be able to play 2 copies of that Opera Soloist card. So that could be good. Damage, quantity of minions, and health and attack stats all randomly update per corpse.
Illyria versus Valera.
Another rogue, man. Oh my gosh. I'm in the jackpot rogue ranks. It's kind of miserable, to be honest. So, before I went live, I was actually watching Finno stream. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Finno, but he streams over on Twitch, and I actually really enjoy Finno. I think he's probably my, certainly one of my favorite Hearthstone content creators. And one of the things that he was talking about today was he thinks everybody has an enemy deck. It's like a deck that's just your nemesis that you hate to play against. And for me, it's Jackpot Rogue. And it's not because it wins a lot of games, it's actually got a bad win rate. It's because of the way that it wins those games. It's like, if they high roll on the generations, they win, the Jackpot Rogue, and if they low roll, they lose, and that's what it all comes down to. We're keeping the Tavish. It's Rogue. I'm going to mulligan the Wild Spirits. I really want a weapon, either Candle Shot or Bloodseeker. We'll take it. This is Shock Spitter Hunter, by the way. Should still be a pretty strong deck. And it's even a Renathal deck. That's worse. That's actually worse. Alright, I'm going to put the minion out. We're going to start trying to get some chip damage on the rogue here with minions early. So hopefully be able to set up our Shock Spitter kills for a little bit later. Maybe this time it's Death Rattle. Man, I wish, but it's Renathal, so I'm pretty sure it's not Death Rattle. And I'm going to swing here. I'm not super concerned about like buffing this weapon or holding the weapon charge. Next turn we're going to Wild Spirits. We're going to hope against hope that we actually hit the stag that's going to give us another weapon at some point. But even if it doesn't, I think I actually still swing because we'll have our top deck next turn. Also, we could potentially track into a weapon. I just don't see any reason to hold this. We do hit a stag, so that's great. Also, we don't know like how soon our opponent is even going to be playing a minion, and if we could even get an honor kill with it. If they were going to play a Trickster on turn 4, you know, maybe I could save it. They could, or maybe like they could coin Trickster. So if they play Jackpot, maybe. But I'm just not saving the weapon here. I mean, we could top deck a weapon. We still have 5 weapons in the deck. And then we also have tracking, and we'll have enough mana to be able to play any weapon that we might be able to hit. And our opponent is playing Field Contact. So now I have no idea what I'm playing against. which is actually good. Maybe I'll be able to have some fun since it's maybe not Jackpot Rogue. So now I wish I would have saved the weapon, but I mean, who plays this card? Oh, he takes the damage. I like that. Spirit Poacher here, so... I mean, I definitely want to save the Devouring Swarm because I'm probably going to want to get back additional Shock Spitters at some point. I could go ahead and track. We're going to get a weapon next turn anyway, so maybe I don't actually want to discover a weapon. Maybe I just try to set up like my turn 5. So the question would be, would I rather track or hero power? And I think I'm probably just going to end up tracking here. If I float a mana, it'll be okay. I guess I should just go ahead and grab a Shock Spitter.
Caught this one eating party snacks.
Then I'm going to punch face. We are going to have another weapon here. It's maybe a little bit dangerous to leave this guy on the board. I have no idea what he's going to be drawing for, but his hand is already basically full, and it's a 40-card deck, so I don't think he's going to be like setting up any kind of crazy combos like the old Garrote Rogue used to. I think we're okay here. Some sort of combo-based deck. I don't see how it could be a combo deck at 40 cards. Like, you just make it less likely that you get your combo. So here's the other interesting question. Would you kill this minion on that turn? Like, I could have punched into it here and played the Devouring Swarm on it, but then I've used my Devouring Swarm. I guess my question is, like, how scared are you of leaving this minion on the board? Was that the correct play, or no? Because if I have to, I'll be able to swing into it when I get the weapon off of this. Now I'm actually not going to be able to swing into it. But again, I feel like I'm just not concerned about this card being on the board. I definitely want to attack, because I need to buff my my Shock Spitter. And I don't think I want to play the Shock Spitter either. Although I could. I mean, I can swing, Shock Spitter this, and then Devouring Swarm this guy. I get my one Shock Spitter back, but I feel like I'm going to need more Shock Spitters. Next turn, I'm going to have Bran anyway, so I can just, like, swing, and... I guess I just throw out the Trog, just to put something on the board, but then I can Hero Power, and then likely I'm going to be able to hit a, Explosive Trap anyway. So I'm just going to soften this guy up. Hero Power Trog, and then pass turn. Face race all day. Yeah, I think so too. If you don't know what to do, you always go face, right? Opponent doing interesting things. They are doing interesting things. If they're playing this, they have to be playing secrets as well, right? So it's some kind of like secret Renathal Rogue. It's already so much more enjoying playing a deck that I don't know exactly what the cards are in it. It's like refreshing. Like if you play Jackpot Rogue, you know exactly what cards are in your opponent's deck. And you can take a really good guess about what cards are in their hand. Kudos to this opponent for helping us have fun. Hey Joel. We got a Hunter hater in the chat. What's wrong with Hunter? Like, Hunter's not even that strong. Look at this guy. So I'm still going to play the Bran. I'm still going to play the Tavish. That's a nice pickup for us for next turn. But I can, like, swing into this, hit here, and then set up a freezing trap. So we'll see what we get first. Zombies could actually be pretty interesting as well. Out of these, I feel like it is zombies. We know big minions are going to be coming down. Maybe that zombies can clear them. If I actually take this freezing trap, though, this gets bounced back, and they can play it again. But, I mean, there's no way that they want to spend that much mana actually playing it, right? In before they have some kind of rush minion. And this still hits me in the face. Although even if they have a rush minion, it's likely going to get killed by the zombies. I can kill anything up to an 8/8. Or anything up to 8 health anyway. Another weapon next turn, Shock Spitter's up to 5, so we're kind of making our way slowly. Our opponent doesn't really feel like they're doing anything as far as advancing their game plan to be able to win the game. Like, they're going to have big minions coming down, but they're kind of on a clock. I might be able to just punch him in the face next turn. I'll have a ram to be able to discount some type of beast, plus I'm going to be able to hero power, always Huffer. Is Tavish Brand's brother or something? I'm not sure if they're brothers, Jesus. They were both members of the League of Explorers, though, I think. Maybe they're brothers.
Anybody?
I'm not too up on Hearthstone lore. Yeah, so you can see here we do clear the 8/8. I don't really care about the rogue secret. I guess Kidnap could be relevant. Yellow Snow seems like they could be a individual that might want to play Kidnap here, but if it's Kidnap, they're going to get this guy. It's not. So we're going to perfectly spend our mana here and punch our opponent in the face. And remember what I told you, always Huffer. So if you're not good at rolling Huffers, you know, you might have a little bit harder time with the deck. Or maybe with the class. Hunter is not that great, that's why I say, oh, okay, so you actually are a Hunter fan, and you wish that Hunter was stronger.
Pick me.
So they got a mage secret here. I mean, good for them is Ice Barrier and Objection and Counterspell, so I'm going to have to start testing for stuff. Like, I don't think I can ever just drop a Shock Spitter down. If it's just gain 8, I think I'm okay with it. So I will likely... We're doing it again. Likely attack first with the 1/1, if possible. It's also an interesting way to use Shadow Step here. Oh, that's not good. Not too worried about the rogue secret, though. Second Shock Spitter? Did they just die? Shock Spitters deal 6. If it's an objection... If it's an objection, I still win. But it takes 2 turns. I don't know if I'll still have the mana discount if it is objection. I guess I have to take the chance, though. If I swing, I don't have lethal if it ends up being Ice Barrier. So I guess I can test with the first Shock Spitter. I can, like, swing first into this guy. Okay, it's not Oasis Ally. I just need 2 Shock Spitters to hit face here. And looks like we don't actually know what secret they did get, so... Maybe Counterspell? I'm not sure. Either way, we're able to sneak out with a win. Can't remember a meta where Hunter wasn't good. Just roll Huffer. Yeah, Bluebell, you always got to be able to roll Huffer. So here's the other thing, man. I want to get your guys' opinion on this as well. What did you think of this? And which band did you take? So I sat here and looked at the different... First of all, I thought it was really cool that they had 3 different quest paths and quest rewards. I know some people aren't going to like that because there's like collectors that want every portrait, and I don't know if we'll ever be able to get the portrait that you didn't take. But the concert that I chose was Masters of Soul. And the reason why is because I thought that this was the best looking portrait. So to me, I didn't really care about the class packs. Typically because, again, just for me, I have an entire standard set, and I'm going to maintain an entire standard set. So it's not like I was looking for a specific class for class packs. I didn't like the mage portrait at all. And so having said that, the most important thing to me out of what these rewards are going to be was the class portrait. I didn't like the mage one at all, but I had a hard time deciding between Druid and Warrior, because the Rokara portrait was really good too. But the Rokara portrait kind of did that you've seen where, you know, like they got their hero and they just kind of move up and down like this slowly. And when I saw that, I said, I'm going for Lunara. Like, you get, it's really colorful. But you can see, like, the color scale, if you compare this to what I was talking about with the new signature cards, it's not as bright. So there's a lot of colors. You know, there's a lot going on here, but it's not, like, overwhelming with the colors and the vibrance, which is the feeling that I got from the new signature cards, at least as they were placed in those notes. You chose rock. Yeah, man. Got to rock out. Rock was Rokara, right? I don't remember what the mage one was. But yeah, I really like this portrait the best out of the three, so that was my decision. But I thought it was really cool that we had a choice and different paths that you could go down. Choice is always nice. Oh, I got another pack. So here's the other thing. I mean, you may have already thought about this, but with these card packs, I'm not opening them. First of all, I mean, I don't need the cards. This is a standard Shaman card pack. But if you wait for the expansion to launch, then you'll be able to collect potentially Shaman cards from the new expansion when it comes out. Also, if you open it now, you could get Shaman cards that are from sets that are going to rotate in, you know, about a month. So even for me, as somebody that has the entire standard set, I'm still waiting to open these until after the expansion launches. And depending on, like, what level of completion you are in your set, it could be really likely that you land, you know, some of the sets that are going to rotate, and then it's a wild-only card. Mage is the one that plays the piano. Okay. Oh, you like the mage, Joel? Yeah. But that's what's great. People like different stuff. So, I mean, already, between three of us, we've picked the three different things. But I thought it was really cool that they gave us the option. I'm going to continue down the line here, and we're on to Undead Priest. So I talked a little bit at the beginning of the stream just about ETC, the band manager, and how I kind of think it's like a... it's just a bad card. Like, I don't think it's going to be good at all. Unless you can specifically play it in a class, which, I mean, you can, but if you don't play it in a class with mana cheat, I just feel like 4 mana for a 4/4 to discover a full costed card isn't going to be that good. So, again, I know a lot of people are experimenting. I think Band Manager is bad. The only decks that I'm trying it in would be Druid, because of mana cheat. Demon Hunter, same thing, mana cheat with the relics. Death Knight, you do have Horn of Winter, so potentially you can make something happen there with a small amount of mana cheat. And, of course, Rogue. If you're a Rogue and you're playing spells, you've got Prep, and then just, if you're playing minions, you would still have, like, Prep, Serrated, Bone Spike. But it just feels a little bit too expensive. Also, when I was thinking about it, I thought, what you're actually doing is you're potentially adding an extra card to your deck. Because most time you're not going to have, like, Bran or Shadow Step, you know. You're only going to get one additional card out of it. And so you kind of want to... It's like tech cards is what I see a lot of people playing. So like Silence, Weapon Destruction, for kind of maybe a bit more rare scenario, but you're playing a card that's not actually good enough to put in your main deck. And then you're going to pay an additional 4 mana to be able to have access to that card. That's like a really heavy tax, in my opinion. I'm going to coin out the Nightmare here. Quest Druid, I think this matchup is actually really close. I hope our opponent doesn't have... Rake is really good for him. I think the card I really don't want to see is Park Panther, though. Park Panther should be really good. And then, of course, we're going to throw this out. Double 4/3s. But again, if they have Park Panther here, Park Panther trades one, they trade the other one, and then we're back to having no board. And then likely we have to float a mana with the Shadowed Spirit next turn. Looks like second copy of Rake, and then they're going to swing. So again, we have no board. Rake is just such a good card. Plus they healed. They're still at 30 health. I kind of have to play the Undying Allies here, because we're going to be running low on minions. Like, I'm definitely playing the Shadowed Spirit, so I don't ever want to save this to try to be able to get 2 minions on the board with it. I just need to go ahead and get it down, and then I'm having to float a mana here, so that's kind of bad. I feel like we're going to lose this matchup because the Druid has done really well in the early game removing our minions. They're still at full health. I'm pretty sure we're going to lose here. Use ETC for even Shaman. Yeah, I'm not much of a wild guy, Joel. Could be good in, could be really good in wild. I just have no idea. Quest Priest might end up liking it. What are the top decks right now according to you, Uncorrupt? Ooh, I like it. I would say for me... Kinda don't like this play. I wish I would have had something to spend mana on. You never want to draw this card. But assuming this dies now, and maybe they kill off the 1 health, Cultist is going to end up being pretty strong for us, I think, here. I would say for me, top decks right now, definitely Shadow Priest. It depends on what you're playing against, too. I think Frost Death Knight should still be in a good spot, even though it was nerfed. Shockspitter Hunter is probably okay. And from what I hear, Miracle Rogue is the strongest deck. Obviously, that has a little bit higher skill cap. Man. 3rd copy of Rake. And they complete the quest again. But this tells me that both of these guys are going to die, and then I'll be able to bring them back with the Cultist, which is going to be really good for us. If they don't kill it here, I'd probably trade with it, just to be able to get back another copy. I don't know, there may be some other options. I might have to do that which must never be done, and actually play Benedictus this game. What a waste of 5 mana this is. Only good news for us is they still haven't played Astalor, but we're kind of having a hard time. Just not doing enough damage. Our opponent's healing, they're removing our board. So it feels like we're not going to get there. This is going to end up being a pretty good turn, though. We are still going to be floating 1 mana. There's nothing to really Mindseer here. But this was a good turn. So they can still play, like, the Lingering Zombie Spammy Arcanist. I'm assuming that's their list. And it's going to clear this board. Or I think we'll still have a 3-1, which I can then buff next turn, which might be good. But it's possible this entire board just dies. And they may even be setting up for lethal next turn, which would be pretty bad for us. So they may take 9 and leave us with an empty board, in which case I think we definitely lose. Cards for ETC and Even Shaman are Jade, Lightning, Leroy, and Lotheb. That sounds pretty good. I think Lotheb is supposed to still be really good in Wild, which is kind of crazy to think because it was in the very first... well, it wasn't a mini set. It was back then they were adventures, I guess, but it was one of the first cards released after the initial classic Hearthstone. I only play Standard. Yeah, I'm in the Jon Snow boat. I only play Standard as well. They just drew a Nubricon. 10 cards left in the deck. I think we're dead next turn. They're at 34. We don't have anywhere near that much damage. And there's the Lingering Zombie as well. Undying Allies does nothing. So we have 17, 20, 22. Start with the draw. We hit a Corporal. It's also likely that they maybe even have the second Lingering Zombie. I definitely push everything face here, though. Do I want to steal anything? It doesn't matter if I steal with the Najak. I think I definitely want to remove this and get that damage in. And I probably want to just go ahead and Hero Power here as well. Just to get him a little bit lower. This also sets up lethal for next turn. And then I'm just going to go ahead and play the Undying Allies with the Corporal here. So let's see, 23, 26, 30, 33, 36. We're at 41, so if they have the combo, we're still just dead. If they don't have the combo, it's possible that we've won. Because they're going to take 9 just off of these guys. This will be active, plus I've got the hero power. Maybe they play the Astalor because they need the healing.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
Innervate. Anubricon. Yeah, so I don't know if they're just really bad at math. Maybe they don't understand the deck. Or, I don't know, maybe it was BM, but all they had to do was play the combo and we were just dead. So that's unfortunate. They had a really good start. They were able to eliminate our board early, so we just weren't getting there. We got so close to... We just needed like one solid turn in the early game to be able to push some damage face, but our minions just never stuck. I mean, a lot of Blood DK. John, I think that's like one of the most popular decks is actually Blood Death Knight. It's not good. The win rate's not good, but people just really enjoy it. Which I kind of understand, to be honest. Some of the cards are fun. I think Blood Boil's a really fun card to play. And I know for me, I don't play Wild because I don't have the collection. I took a years-long break from Hearthstone, and when I came back, I dusted all of the old cards so that I could get caught up with a current set. And so there's a lot of stuff in Wild, Wild cards that I don't have. Plus, I see people frequently complaining about, like, the state of Wild. As far as imbalance, it feels like the Wild community is just never happy.
Stay in the shadows.
Death is nature's way.
I've played this guy before. I think he's one of these jackpot scarecrows. Definitely keeping the seedsman here. If it is jackpot, they're not doing anything in the early game. So I'll be wanting my ramp, definitely. I'm pretty sure you always keep this, but I'm kind of a mind that you don't keep Nourish against an aggro deck like Shadow Priest. Like Conventional Wisdom with this deck, I think it has a high mulligan win rate, you keep Nourish. But a lot of times you get to turn 5, and if you haven't had like Rakes, like our last opponent, and even Park Panthers, to be able to clear your opponent's side of the board, you just end up in this spot where on turn 5, yeah, you can ramp, but you're basically already dead. Or you feel like you have to ramp to, you can't use Nourish for ramp, you're looking for card draw to be able to hit like the spammy Arcanist or something. Was this the guy I played earlier? Really hate this card, by the way. Next turn I want to go coin Wild Bloom Seedsman. The question is, do I want to rake here? I mean, I want to go Seedsman into Guff. Like, everything's shaping up pretty good this game, except we don't know what this mage secret is. I think I don't want him shadow stepping it, though. The extra secrets are potentially just too strong for him. Like, counter spells, objections, it's just not good. I mean, if they play the secret and it's a mage secret, I think I still just make my play. Because you're only offered one mage secret. They play the jackpot here. Same for me, I dusted stuff for standard, yeah. Yep, I was in the same boat. I just wanted to have a full standard set, because I like to play what I want to play when I want to play. Now I've got a lot of extra copies that I just never undust. So we ramp. Next turn I'll probably aquatic form. Unless, again, if there's a mage secret, maybe I test for counterspell. What is this? Oh man, we got wrecked. We got totally destroyed, man. Scarecrow Rogue. Look, they have a board, and we can't do anything about it unless we hit spammy Arcanist. And even then, this doesn't die. But look, we're going to take 13.
Intriguing.
I still just ramp, right? I ramp. I can hero power to remove one of these guys. Well, let's stick to the plan. Aquatic form. I guess it's the lingering zombie. That'll allow me to remove this guy too. And then I can ramp. Next turn, I'll be able to look for spammy Arcanist, and I can innervate it out if I have to. I don't know, the turn doesn't feel great. But I mean, imagine they hit like that Demon Hunter 5-mana sigil, summon a demon from your hand or something like that. They get something that creates a board, and I don't have a spammy Arcanist. Absolute scarecrow. So if I'm good, I'm just going to top deck it. Taking a lot of damage here. Basically, we have to find spammy or we just lose the game. We miss on the spammy. We missed it a second time. It's just really unfortunate, man. Like, they played jackpot and they won the game. It's so frustrating, man. I can't stand that deck. I'm so glad that the support for that stupid deck is going to rotate. I just find it totally unfun. Like, if I lose because I make a misplay, I can handle that. If I lose because my opponent outplays me, I can handle that. But sometimes I think there's certain aspects of Hearthstone that are too random, and that's what really frustrates me when I lose to them. And Jackpot Rogue definitely falls into that category. There's so many bad spells they could have gotten that don't win them the game on the spot. But the fact that they hit Scale of Onyxia and that I can't find spammy Arcanist, they just win. I feel like I'm playing the same people over and over again, which is unusual considering that my rank is this high. Isn't this the guy that I played the last game that I played as the Frost Death Knight? I kind of think it is. We're just going to hit the board here. Next turn we'll have options, whether it's these two guys or just Harbinger of Winter. They kept 4 cards. I'm assuming one of these is going to be a Serrated Bone Spike. There it is. They always have it. I said that last time. It is Jackpot Rogue, so now we get to see whether we win the game or lose the game once again, based on the jackpot. Isn't that so fun? I don't understand why this deck got so popular again all of a sudden. Because again, it's not like a good deck that's winning a lot of games, it's a mediocre deck.
Reach for the sky.
Just gonna hero power here. Spins mana, gives us an extra corpse. Corpses could be relevant. Inside the bad manager, I know for sure I have a Might of Menethil. I might want that weapon. And it would be nice to be able to freeze some minions. But again, I mean, playing the 4/4 isn't gonna feel great. We hit the location. Could just like attack and play the location here. Otherwise we're playing a 4/4. And then next turn we would have like location and weapon. I'm assuming this dies next turn. We're gonna play the band manager and let's see. Yeah, so I've got Might of Menethil, Astalor, and Smothering Starfish. Am I ever going to have time for the weapon? I think it's just Astalor here. Silence could be relevant if their jackpot gave them something with a lot of taunt minions, but just one silence wouldn't be enough. I think I'm going to take the Astalor. And again, I don't feel really good about this play. Scale of Onyxia again, so that's 2 games in a row that Jackpot gives my opponent Scale of Onyxia. Although it's not as bad this game as it was last game. So this is a pretty straightforward turn. I'm going to want to make sure that this dies because I don't want them to be able to Shadow Step and replay it. So not as big a deal because just the difference in deck that we're playing. But, I mean, Hearthstone's rigged. How much more evidence do you need? Hearthstone rigged, bro. All these jackpots are running afoul of my stream title. We're supposed to be climbing. Climbing, I say.
I've got plenty of mojo to go around.
We'll be able to kill this and get our guy back. I'm assuming they don't have a silence for it. And I definitely want the Thessarian back. So, I could actually just play the Astalor here, or maybe I play it anyway. I'm going to hit either Frost Strike or Horn of Winter. So I can go location this guy. Bump into there, we get our Thessarian back, and then I'll swing into a 2-1.
Clever, aren't you?
Probably don't want to wait too long on the Astalor, though, because I may need it at some point relatively soon. It would be nice to maybe have a Horn of Winter in hand, though, for like the Bran Astalor combo. We can get to 11 mana with the Horn of Winter. So I'm going to say that card draw is going to be better here than a different option. We do hit a Horn. And I'm just going to kind of say that I don't want to use the Horn on this Astalor. Next turn, we maybe even just start freezing our opponent's face. Having both of these is good. If there's no taunts, if all they do is develop a minion, they can actually clear our board, which is unfortunate. But it looks like... yeah, they still clear, I guess. Also have to keep in mind Scabs is coming on turn 8. Oh, they're going to take the damage. I like to see that. They actually took 5 by swinging into the Thessarian. I think that's a mistake. Especially considering I'm going to be able to Frostworm's Fury here. So, I mean, this is a pretty straightforward turn. This just sets up lethal. Our opponent can't Scabs yet. They need to remove this. Looks like they're probably going to be able to. They'll have some type of Discover to kill a minion or 2 deal 3 damage. Yeah, destroy a random minion. But we can do it again. And then the following turn, let's see. Hate to see that. Because that's going to be healing for them. But even if they play this, board is frozen. How close are we to lethal? We're so close. 5, 7, this and a hero power. 3, 5, it's 12 mana though. I still think the play is to Frostworm's Fury here. Save the Horn of Winter. So Scabs is good for them. It gives them another Astalor. I swear I feel like I played this exact game. Like Scabs, they get the Astalor back. They're going to be healing. I'm going to be struggling to find lethal. There's a Contraband Stash, but this is fine. They go to 10. Maybe it's not as fine as I thought it was. Marrow Manipulator. Really wish I had Bran. That'd be 20 damage coming out. They're at 10, so we have 2. We have 5. So I guess we're going to start off just by drawing with the Chillfallen Baron. They also have lethal on the board, so I might have to do something here, which would also be unfortunate. Marrow Manipulator. Second Horn of Winter. So I can hit here. I can Astalor this 2/2, and then I'm going to Horn of Winter this guy. Yeah, we got the Marrow Sniper. Look at that, man.
Top little death knight.
We clear the crab and the 2/1, and then the last 2 damage goes face. That's insane. Hey, what's happening, Frank? Nice to see you. Glad you could stop by. We're doing alright, just trying to figure out how to beat all this random stuff, man. Lots of jackpot rogues today. My least favorite deck to play against. And I've hit a nice little pocket of them as well. Super unfortunate. Contraband stash again. They're having to use a lot of their stuff here. Next turn, they're going to be able to play the 8-mana version of the Astalor to be able to clear our board. They're at 8.
Where you followed.
Bran is probably our best top deck, just to be able to play with the Marrow Manipulator. That's both Contraband stashes, by the way. Bonebreaker. And we're almost dead. I mean, we're dead to our opponent's... We're dead to our opponent's Astalor here, so our only out is... Let's see, we have 2, we have 5.
I'll find the answer.
If this is Judgment of Justice, I would be in trouble. I'm gonna have to go for it, though.
Clever, aren't you?
Reach for the sky.
Man, that saved him 3 damage. So I need this to hit face 3 times to have lethal with that. Marrow Sniper. And we end up 1 off, or 1 shot off. It's 2 off lethal. And we're dead to the Astalor here. Crazy unfortunate, man. They hit Scale of Onyxia, so second game in a row, Jackpot Rogue last game, hit Scale of Onyxia off of Jackpot. It won him the game. Happens again, and it wins again because they had both Contraband stashes to be able to replay it. It's just so frustrating. You like playing Relic Demon Hunter? If so, do you prefer the version with the Scythe or the Minion version? So Frank, I actually prefer the Minion version because if you play the Scythe version, you can't actually discount the minions. You can discount the bound souls, but you're still going to pay full price for the minions. So the other version, you'll be able to discount like the Jace. If you're running the Artifice or Zymox, you'll be able to discount that with the Relic of Dimensions. Against Demon Hunter? I guess I'm keeping the Harpoon Gun. It's a weapon, and I've got a turn 1 play with the Trog. Trog should be really good against Demon Hunter here. So many times you'll see on turn 1 the Demon Hunter wants to Sigil of Alacrity, if they have it in hand. Potentially it just dies on turn 2, but maybe it causes our opponent to just like Hero Power turn 1, which Sigil of Alacrity is a much better play. Nice to see lots of weapons in hand here as well. We know that Demon Hunter has a lot of potential for healing. I mean, I'm assuming it's Relic, I'm assuming they're playing Spell Power as well as the Unleash Fel, which is like the big heal. So I'm going to want to potentially not play minions on the board. So this on turn 4 may actually be the last minion that I play on the board, because that's going to severely limit the amount of healing that they can get when they make the when they make the Unleash Fel play. And you can see here we did kind of block them as far as that goes. So I'm going to swing, and then we're just going to go ahead and equip the next weapon. Pretty sure they're not playing Weapon Destruction. Nobody's really playing Vipers right now. That's true. Thanks for the answer. Having a lot of fun with both versions. Nice. Yeah, Demon Hunter's a fun class. Something about playing the relics is just so fun. With the Relic Vault especially. Up! I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, it's definitely a fun class. I really enjoyed Quest Demon Hunter before it got nerfed. And I know that the deck was too strong. I mean, I'm kind of glad, I guess, that the deck got nerfed, but man, I really like that deck. But now it's just gone forever. Quest is going to rotate. We're taking the Selective Breeder here. Because I want to be able to get an additional Shock Spitter. And I'm just going to go ahead and play out this guy. I'm assuming this dies. I'm going to have to play the Selective Breeder because I'm going to need a second Shock Spitter. But then anytime after turn 6, I'll be able to double Shock Spitter and kill my opponent. I'm also going to have another weapon, so I can swing, equip, and play the... Oh, and he's just going to take this damage to the face. This is pretty good for us here. And they're still 2 turns away. Like, we're going to get 6 mana before they do. Like, if they coin on turn 5, they're not going to get the healing from the, from the Unleash Fel, so I think we've just won the game. Devouring Swarm, just to be able to get our Shock Spitters back. We're going to go ahead and take the second Shock Spitter. And then we're going to equip the weapon. This is more damage because it's going to buff the Shock Spitter. The only problem here is if this doesn't die, we don't have the discount. But if it doesn't die, then we get to punch face for 4. So I'm expecting something is going to happen that's going to allow us to be able to find lethal. That's actually really bad for us, though. Because we're dead next turn just to hero powers. I'll be able to remove... I mean, I'll be able to get him back, though. And I'll be able to remove 2 of these minions. We could just still be dead. So the attack has to go into a 2/2. It's going to save us damage in the long run. And it buffs our weapon for next turn. We're only going to be able to remove 1 minion, though, because of the way things have shaped up. I can do this. And then Devouring Swarm. And then I'm just going to hero power. This reduces the potential that our opponent is going to be able to heal with the Unleash Fel. We could still just be dead here. I mean, that's 4. This is 10 just with hero powers. So if they have like a Lady Satheno here and cheap spells, we could just be dead, like Satheno and Predations. But they don't have any mana to hero power, so I'm pretty sure we just won the game. That's interesting. They had 6 cards in hand. They had 10 damage. They needed 3 mana to deal another 10 damage. Maybe it's not as easy as I thought it was.
Potions, flasks, BOE, I got it all.
Never did, right? Never did? Whew! Never did. It was close, though.
Face your red.
It was close. I know you're probably looking at it saying, man, this guy done goofed on the order. But it was lethal no matter what we did. Ideally, though, to maximize damage, you swing face first, then you Shock Spitter, then hero power. It's 1 more damage, but we had overkill anyway, so it didn't really matter. I'm going to queue up this game, and then I'm going to sneak away. I will be back in just 1 moment, hopefully in time for the mulligan. Thanks for watching.
Tyrande versus Malfurion.
My beloved Tyrande.
My dear Malfurion.
We made it. We're keeping the 2-drop here. Up against the Druid, looks like it's probably Quest. It's so weird, man. Today, it feels like all of my matchups are exactly the same. I'm rotating between 4 different decks. I'm pretty sure that I played against Quest Druid the last time I was on this deck, which was like 4 games ago. And actually ended up losing because our opponent was able to clear our early board so well. In the early game, we just got no damage whatsoever. Man, Whispers of the Deep is insane. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go ahead and Shadowed Spirit and just pass turn. Almost guaranteed that the 5/5 sticks. Almost guaranteed. Okay. So this is good. The 5/5 sticks. We're going to be able to silence. And then after the silence, we're going to be able to buff with the Cathedral. And we're going to have a 7/6 on board, which is going to be hopefully challenging for our opponent to be able to remove. I'm really hoping that this actually just farms the game. You also get to draw a card here. Haunting Nightmare is a good pickup. We may have just won the game right here. Outcast DH. Oh wow, they're actually able to clear it because they had second Park Panther. And this is why I think you keep Park Panthers against Shadow Priest. It ends up being pretty good. I think it's Haunting Nightmare. Like, if this dies, potentially we can get out an additional 4/3, and I would rather have that more so than 3 damage off the Shadowed Spirit if it dies. If it does die, we kind of hope it lands here, or potentially here. And if it survives, we can buff it, draw a card, do more additional damage face, and we'll play like maybe this guy location, double buff. This game already feels a lot better, because I think turn 5, the game we lost, the Druid was still at like 30 health and maybe even had some armor. So Rake is definitely a key card in the deck I think that you would want to keep. They actually hit the Rake here. It's going to land on the Undeath, and I'm going to be in shambles. It hits the Mind Seer. Again, I don't want to play this. Undying Allies is good, though. So we're going to play the Undying Allies. We're going to buff this guy. And we're going to just go ahead and play the Corporal, I think.
All ends with death.
Pass it back to our opponent. So hopefully with this play, this guy will get to hit at least for 5. There's going to be 6 damage out of this, even if it doesn't get to attack face. And then, assuming that at least one of these survives, we'll be able to buff it with this copy of the Cathedral. So, also, we got Undeads on the board. That's going to keep our Shadow Word Undeath active. So, feeling pretty okay about this game. But our opponent still has a lot of potential to be able to heal. And a lot of potential to still be able to kill us. And see, here's what I was saying about Nourish in these aggressive matchups. This is why I think you actually mulligan the Nourish. Because they played the Nourish to draw cards, rather than to ramp, when they drew it on turn 6. Whispers of the Deep is an interesting top deck here, but I'm thinking I don't want to play it. I'm going to play Location, buff here, and draw a card. And likely I'm just going to Hero Power and Mind Seer this guy to get 3 damage face and summon a 4/3 because that's where the Haunting Nightmare landed. I'm going to start with the card draw. I could silence this and it's a 5/5 that can permanently attack and it clears the board, but then I'm still in a spot where the Mind Seer is a little bit awkward. So that's 13, 17. Put him to 7. I mean, we equip this. Maybe we do just silence and push face. Save the Mind Seer. Just because we have so much on the board. And then these guys both have Reborn. So if they come back with only 1 health, then we have a Mind Seer target. So I'm going to do that. And I think I am just going to go ahead and Whispers here. That allows me to ping face, push face, push face. So we set our opponent to 8. I mean, the Whispers does remove the Reborn from this, so now it doesn't leave a 5/1. So it's possible that I just don't get this damage. Maybe it was better to ping, have the 4/3 on the board. Are they going to play the, they're going to play the quest reward as well, right? Yeah. But they're still, like, on the ropes here. Oh, yeah, they just died. 13. Let's see, I steal this. 13, 17, 19.
I've got plenty of mojo to go around.
I think we kill him even if they don't, even if we don't draw the Najak. I think I would have been able to, especially with the drawing the Void Touch Attendant. I got to Quest Druid of our own. Hey, Ratko. Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you're doing well today. We finally started heading back in the right direction. As in we're climbing. What was the, there was another thing that was supposed to happen. Oh, it's tomorrow. I keep thinking today's the 17th. Tomorrow's the 17th, and that's when the card reveals start.
Lunara versus Valera.
Done goofed again. We got another Scarecrow.
Beware the turning tides.
In this matchup, I want ramp, so hopefully we hit a Nourish, a Seedsman. Nourish is good. I'm not really seeing Miracle Rogues at this rank, so I just assume that they're always going to be Jackpot. Maybe this is another one of those crazy, like, Renathal decks, like I had last time, or time before last. Although I think I ended up losing to that deck because the... Was that one of the Jackpot that discovered... Oh, baby, it is Miracle. So this matchup is bad. I think I want to try to hit maybe Innervate. Then next turn I can Innervate this into additional ramp. But if this is Miracle, it's going to be extremely challenging for us to win the game. Out of these choices, maybe it's just Guff here. So we're going, let's see. We have nothing on turn 3, because we're not going to Tempo Bran. Then we've got this on turn 4. I almost want to take the Rake. I'm actually taking the Rake here. The Rake gives us a defensive option. Sometimes, like, the Miracle Rogue can win just with a wide board. With, like, Stenographers, Ghoulish Alchemist, and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah, they're Shadow Stepping. So what's the chance that they actually get draw 4 off of Concoctor, Shadow Step, Concoctor? We're getting ready to find out. Deal 3 and summon a random minion. So you can see here the opponent is going wide. That's insane, man. This is the 3-drop they get. If they didn't have that, it would have been so much better for us. But you can see, like, they have no cards in hand. If they don't hit, like, Potion Belt and draw 4, they're going to be struggling. Which means, like, being able to remove these minions just with things like Rake and Park Panther could end up being pretty good in this matchup. If I'd taken Guff, it would be Hero Power Pass and then just absorb this damage. At least at this point, I can remove some of this damage off the board here. And I'm going to Hero Power, and I think I want to punch into this. I've got the Lingering Zombie in hand. I'm going to be able to ramp next turn, and hopefully I can draw like a spammy Arcanist to be able to clear this board. Hero Power is also going to heal us for 5 next turn. So we're really just hoping that they don't hit Potion Belt and draw 4. Second Concoctor. So we're still okay, but we're going to need a spammy Arcanist very soon, or we're just going to be too low. And we actually hit it. So next turn, we'll be able to clear the board with Lingering Zombie, Spammy Arcanist, because we're ramping now. Innervate doesn't matter. And again, this is what I'm saying. So this Miracle Rogue ended up, you know, playing a very aggressive board strategy because they didn't have, like, location Draka plays. But this is where you have the Nourish, and you get to turn 5, and you don't even want to play it to ramp. So we're going to be on 6 mana, but it is turn 5, and we're having to actually address the board here, rather than ramp. And that's why I feel like maybe in more recent times, Nourish is not as good of a keep in the mulligan as it was maybe in the past, just based on what we're playing against. Hey, Sakur. Thank you for stopping by. Always nice to see you guys. The other thing is, am I actually ramping or am I drawing cards here? This gives me a noob. I have an Innervate in hand. I almost feel like I want to draw cards. Yeah, well, Hero Power, but it's only step 1 of the quest. That doesn't draw a card. I mean, at 11 mana, or at 10 mana, we kill him with the combo. But I need cards to be able to do it. And I'm low health, so I think I just need, like, more options in hand. So I'm not even going to ramp with the, Nourish here. And then the question is, do I want to play the Moonlit Guidance? I think I want to hold it. We'll just go ahead and heal, and then pass to our opponents. And again, we're just hoping that they don't draw Potion Belt. I think we probably still lose if they draw Potion Belt. Nice to see you too. Thank you. Thank you. Has anybody found ETC to be a good card? Because I haven't. I still think it's a bad card. They hit the Potion Belt and they had a prep. 37% draw 4, but it's actually 100%. Okay, draw 2. Alright, this isn't bad. One Stenographer already gone. And we do at least have a board presence. We also have Rake in hand. But, I mean, from 14 or 13 health, we potentially just die in 1 turn to the Draka, which would be bad. So we're going to start off with the Aquatic form. Check the bottom of our deck. Pathmaker actually ramps for us, which I think is exactly what we want to do. So I want to find Astalor. If I can play this, find Astalor and a noob off of the Capture Cold Tooth Mine, then we actually just kill him next turn. So I want to draw a noob first. I want to take that out of the draw pool for the Moonlit Guidance. And, oh, it's draw your lowest cost card. That's bad. I wasn't paying attention. I needed to play this first to be able to ramp. So I done goofed. Man, I goofed bad. Alright, so I'm still going to go ahead and draw the lowest cost card here. It's not going to be good, but again, I'm just trying to remove stuff from the Moonlit Guidance Discover pool. And I'm going to take the Park Panther just for the defensive option. And then we'll pass it back. So, big time goof on my part on that last turn. I needed to ramp first. So I had the right idea, I just had really, really bad execution. I think a card that they give everyone for free can't be too good. Decent in Even Shaman, because you can put odd cards inside too. That's a good point, Joel. Got a little extra use in Wild. And Sakura, I think it's worse than School Teacher. I think it is too. Like, School Teacher's insane. But that's because the reward is only 1 mana. Whereas you're having to pay full cost on this. They're going in. We're potentially just dead to the Draka Blade. In which case my misplay didn't really matter. But, like, the fact that we misplayed is really bad. Yeah, we just died. 12 damage weapon. Too much damage in the early game, so our opponent going wide ended up being really good for him, even though I specifically took the Rake off of the Discover instead of the Guff. Although, like, the 3-mana 2/5 with Taunt was insane for him as well. Random 3-cost minion, and they hit a 2/5 with Taunt, which prevented me from being able to interact with the rest of their board. Sad. Yeah, when are my opponents going to start getting, like, bad random outcomes? Who's feeling me on that one? Or when is my opponent random outcome going to be good for me?
The Lich King.
Will serve me.
We got a Death Knight here. I almost assumed that this is going to be a Blood Death Knight.
Fester.
I feel like Thessarian is still a keep. On the coin? I think I'm keeping it. Hopefully we hit some earlier game stuff too, though. Unfortunately, we didn't. So if it's blood, I'm actually going to be glad that I have the ETC, because inside of that, I've got an Astalor. And this is total disaster. It's a Frost Death Knight, and I have no plays whatsoever.
Can't stand the cold.
They had Weapon on 1 into Harbinger on 2. The next turn, I mean, I can play Coin the Location, which is still going to be pretty strong, I think, into turn 4th Thessarian. So we are not going to be playing the Location. Our opponent invested a lot of damage in that, though. Still want to get down the Thessarian. Hopefully hits the minion. May have drawn Frost Strike. That would be good for them. So we're still behind on board here. This mirror match has always been
Anybody?
tough.
Pick me! Pick me!
The DK Discover pool is just so good, man.
What the living cannot.
Like, everything they can discover ends up being absolutely insane. And now look at what we're left with. I mean, I almost have to float a mana to remove the 4/2 because we can't afford to take that kind of damage. But it doesn't even matter. Like, it feels like this game is already lost no matter what I do.
The answer.
So I could ETC and take... I do have the weapon, the Might of Menethil. That's 8 damage. That'll get him down to 14. Maybe they just ignore the minion. This might be the one time I'm happy to have it. ETC not terrible. Put odd cards in the even deck. It still doesn't feel good though. Like, I didn't do anything. And now I'm gonna have to pay full mana for this card. Also, like, freezing for 1 turn doesn't even seem super great. But the fact that they put their face into it is really good. So I'm going to be able to freeze, play this guy, punch face. And then next turn, could even just be a Vizier play. The nerf to location was actually pretty significant, making that 1 mana more expensive. I'll get to hit him again. He goes to 10. Marrow Manipulator. And everything goes face. What are you talking about? That was disgusting. That was absolutely crazy, man. I lost a 50-50 5 times in a row. You saw that, right? So I kind of have to like bump here and play the Vizier because I need some help to get out of this. This kind of isn't it. Basically, we just died. That's crazy, man. But I guess it didn't really matter. I was already behind, but just the fact that I lost 5 50-50s in a row. 1/2 to the 5th. It's crazy. Also, it feels like the only deck that I'm winning with is the Shockspitter Hunter, which is interesting. Right about Death Knight going into the rotation. Looks like it's going to continue being dominant in the meta. Also dislike the fact that it killed Warrior. Yeah, I kind of wonder, like, Death Knight got cards that were basically power crept Warrior cards. Like, to me, I feel like Blood Boil is a significantly better card than the 4 mana Warrior card. The,
Light makes right.
what is it? 4 mana deal 2, gain 2 armor for every minion that dies. I don't even remember what it's called now. It's a decent hand. Always love to see Tavish. This gives us a play on 2, weapon on 3. Shadow Priest as expected. How good is Hydralodon on turn 5? I guess it's good because the well, if they still have this equipped, then Shadow Word Undeath actually clears the
Party snacks.
Shadow Word Undeath will actually clear a Hydralodon board. It's actually worked out really well for us to be able to get this trade. I'm gonna go ahead and dredge first. And we're gonna take... Are we taking Dog Biscuit? What do they do? They coined out a 3-drop, so that means they're gonna have another 3-drop. So like Second Shadowed Spirit or Haunting Nightmare. Next turn we could go like buff. I think I'm gonna do this. We've got the buff next turn. Assuming this survives, but I really don't think you would coin out the Shadowed Spirit if you didn't have... Okay, there's an Animate Dead. And then they ping it off. They don't ping it off. So if we go Dog Biscuit trade, the minion still dies. If I punch into it, I take 7. Could even just trade this, but it doesn't seem very good. The 4/4. I almost feel like I'm going to have to take the 7 here. What really kills us is the stupid High Cultist Basilisk. If that card is insanely strong, I don't think we beat it no matter what we do. I just need to go ahead and remove this, and I think I want to keep my 4/4 on the board. There's a chance they don't have the silence. If they make the trade, I'm happy. If this goes face, it just dies. If this goes face and they play High Cultist and it brings back 2, then I'm like super sad. But I think this is still going to be the play to make. Battle Ram is really good for us for next turn. And I'm going to get the Trog out just in case there is some type of spell being played here. Yeah, Corrupt, do you know if Relic Vault with multi-cast a relic spell casted by Noggling? I don't think it works with the Noggling. So the Noggling will still have the, it gets the upgrades, but it doesn't work with Relic Vault. So if you had already played like 2 relics, then the Noggling version will be like the 3rd one. It'll be the buffed version, but it's not going to work with Relic Vault. Alright, so I am going to be able to push 4 face. Shockspitter's only dealing 3, which is unfortunate. I can do this. Get here, face. And then we're just going to ping. They got the 5/5. I mean, if they have the silence, it's like a perfect clear. But I'm going to have Tavish next turn. The Shockspitter, I just haven't been able to develop the weapon damage is the issue. But we're not guaranteed dead. Also, they just played an Undeath, and I'm going to have Hydralodon if I need it. So we're going to take... What do we really need here? Motion Denied, they're probably not playing 3 cards anyway in a single turn. That doesn't really help. I guess it's the improved explosive trap for the first one. And then we'll take the zombies for the second one. So if they play a minion, most of the minions don't have any more than 3 health, so we would still have a couple of zombies left on the board. 1 Shadow Word Undeath gone, they're not very deep in their deck, so maybe Hydralodon next turn just gives us a board that wins the game. Also, they're going to feel pressure to play around, I think, the Motion Denied. But I really don't think they're playing 3 cards in a turn anyway. They're going to think they have to play around it, though. Okay. We're at 6. So now they don't have an additional Shadow Word Undeath, so they have to deal 6 damage from hand. If we had just drawn an additional weapon... I mean, they can deal 6. They've got this. They're going to have 3 cards. I mean, it's still just the Hydralodon play. This opens us up to, like, Mind Seers being able to deal damage. If they don't kill us here, we just win. 3 cards. They've only drawn 11. That doesn't do anything. Okay. It is Mondseer and it's exact lethal. There's no way I can play around that though, right? Like, I can't play around the Mondseer because if I don't play Hydralodon, I don't set up lethal. That was an interesting game. If I'd had another weapon at any point in that game, then the Shockspitters end up doing a lot more damage and I just kill him with like Brand Shockspitter. Just a tad unfortunate. Hey, Mr. Streamer, you're going the wrong way.
Your path has brought
Top 500 is in the other direction. Alright, there's no way we can ever keep Whispers of the Deep without actually having the Corporal in hand. Also, it's another Rogue, man. By far, Rogue is the class that we're playing the most. I really hate it, man. These jackpot rogues. But the good news is, it's about time for our opponent's jackpots to be bad, because up until now they've been pretty good. Also, like, if they don't remove this, well, first of all, they always have serrated bone spike, so it dies.
Where you follow.
But if they don't have it, we play Haunting Nightmare, and then in the event that both of these minions die, we can get them both back with the Cultist, which is just like an insane turn. They always take the Mage Secret here, I'm sure of it.
Run as fast as you can.
If they want to Shadow Step this, they can have it just because I have the Cultist in hand. If they play a... Yeah, it looks like they're actually clearing the board here. Oh, land on the Cultist. Hearthstone owes me. Oh, baby. It's finally our turn to high roll. Everything evens out. Look at this, man. Look at how strong this turn is. And we have both Void Touched Attendants in hand. So what kills us here? Tooth of Nefarian. They got some kind of ridiculous removal with Tooth of Nefarian. And they're going to have the Trickster. Coin is bad for us. Is that Tooth again? Bone Spike, 5 mana left. Mountain Bear. So I'm going to take the Mountain Bear, but I can't actually silence it to be able to get through. But I'll be able to push this damage face, which is going to be good, but it's...
I've got plenty of mojo to go around.
It's a little bit unfortunate, more than just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and play one of these guys because I need to start cashing in that damage. They're down to 14. I mean, they've already used a Tooth and a Bone Spike. Maybe they actually just can't kill this and we get to keep the minion, but it's highly unlikely. They almost need deal 3 twice on this guy. Kill a random minion. We've got 6 minions on the board. Deal 3, draw 2. So they need like a Ghostly Strike here. Oh, baby. I think doubling the mana cost of Spitter hit it a tad too hard to keep up with these decks. It's actually a pretty strong deck still, is the interesting thing. Like, Spitter coming out at 2 mana was ridiculous when you think about it. Because with the Battle Ram, you can still play Spitter twice on as early as turn 6, even at 4 mana. Look at his Quest Druid, 0-3. This is why we're going the wrong way.
Beware the turning tides.
Also, looky, it's another rogue. Now here's the other thing. Am I going to try to make a meta call based on my opponent's rank? We faced tons of rogues today. They've all been jackpot with the exception of there was one Miracle Rogue and there was one Crazy Pants Rogue. That may have also been jackpot, I can't remember. But their rank is a little bit higher, so should I take that to mean that they're playing Miracle? In which case I probably want to keep at least one Park Panther? I guess not. Jackpot's just too popular of a deck. So against Jackpot I want to find Ramp. We hit a Seedsman. Aquatic Form is an okay pickup. It's always nice to be able to check the bottom of our deck. Justice. That's right, Blue Belt. I'm the Hearthstone player for Justice. Thoughts on adding Thief Rogue to your Roulette for getting to top 500? I think it's a really bad idea. I think it's a really bad idea. Actually, an interesting turn 2 choice here. I can play this and just go ahead and grab the Anubricon so that we have it in hand. Spends our mana. Other option is Hero Power. In which case, a Pounce Hero Power completes the first portion of the quest. I don't really care about the armor, but sometimes drawing a card off the second portion of the quest ends up being pretty important. But I think most likely we're going to win this with our combo. And this allows us to just go ahead and get this in hand. Also, if you can imagine, this may have been the very next card on the top of the deck. In which case we lose a lot of value. They're playing Finley, so that means it's got to be jackpot, right? Slow start for them. I guess pretty likely now. If they didn't have a jackpot or a reconnaissance, it's pretty likely that they hit one on the bottom 5. Hate to see that. Pathmaker. So I'm going to coin out this, and then I think I actually want to pounce and kill this guy, because like shadow stepping, if they're hitting like multiple copies of objection, counterspell, and things like that, that seems like it would be potentially a good way to lose the game. We hit Nourish. It was 2 out of 3 to get Nourish because we already had the Innervate in hand. And then again, I'm just not going to let him shadow step this. So frustrating to play against these random mage secrets that are always objection and counterspell. It's his arch nemesis. It really is, man. This deck is so frustrating to play against. Only deck that wins Miracle Road consistent is Troll Demon Hunter, at least for me. So I actually haven't played that deck. Troll Demon Hunter. I saw somebody else playing it, though. Maybe Pocket Train? I can't remember. Like, yeah, this doesn't matter at all. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's good for us to put damage face, but from our opponent's point of view, like, this just doesn't matter. We want to Nourish. So I can actually go Nourish and Innervate card draw. Or I could just Nourish and Moonlit. So the thing that I think about when I'm in this spot is that you only need 11 mana to be able to get the combo, which would likely be enough to be able to win this game. So I don't have to have Guff, but I would have to have either Innervate or Guff. So I'm not sure if I want to use this Innervate, because it puts me in a spot where I would have to draw the next one. Take a look at the bottom of the deck. I think it's Moonlit Guidance. We just want to find our stuff. So I'm going to Nourish for mana. And then I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and use a Moonlit Guidance here. Seedsman guarantees that we hit our next Innervate. This guy goes face. I don't care about a 1-3. And if our opponent wants to shadow step it, then and get back the cards they didn't want in the first place, I think we're fine with that. Hullbreaker. Kind of hate to see that. That being in the way is going to be bad for us, but now I can play this and draw a second Innervate, and then also draw additional cards. Maybe I just draw cards first, then I don't care if one of them's Innervate. Because I want the mana to be able to play Guff if I draw Guff.
You're not getting in this way.
And we hit Astalor, so I think I want to go ahead and play out the Astalor here. And then all we need is like Bran and 2 turns, and then we'll be able to get there. I'm gonna see what I hit off of this Moonlit Guidance. Is it ever Feral Rage? Pathmaker is still going to be drawing us cards. I think it's actually Spammy Arcanist. We will be able to clear small boards like this. We already have the Lingering Zombie in hand. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to bump into the 6/6. And that's going to put it down into range where it's going to die to Spammy Arcanist and Lingering Zombie. So again, now we just want to survive and not take damage until we hit our Bran Bronzebeard. And then once we get to 10 mana, we'll be able to kill him with the Innervate safely in our hand. So again here, this is why I think the card is bad. They paid 4 mana to be able to get access to a card that's not good enough to be in their main deck. So we're going to clear their board. Yeah, it would have been nice of them to make that trade for us. So we're going to clear their board, and then I think we're just going to go ahead and get that Innervate or Nourish out of our deck to thin the deck a little bit more and make it more likely that we hit the Bran here. So we'll go ahead and Innervate Spammy, or I'm sorry, Lingering Zombie Spammy. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use this Innervate for this guy. And then that also makes room in our hand. In case we would have hit the Nourish, it would have made room in our hand to be able to draw 3 off the Nourish. So again, now we're just looking for Bran. They play Theatar in the ETC. That makes ETC look a lot better. And they actually steal our Astalor here. So we just lost the game. Unless I can complete the quest and kill them somehow. So now our game plan has totally changed. I find that to be a little bit frustrating. But we're fine.
Let's see.
You need to draw cards though. So I'm going to take card draw. And I'm going to take... I'm going to take damage. The damage face is going to be relevant here. So I'm going to do that. Pathmaker draw 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and get down the Park Panther here. This is going to allow us to complete the this portion of the quest. Other question is, what use do we have for a Nubricon? Which I think isn't much. Maybe I should have started the turn with the Anubricon. So we've got our opponent down to 11. They could Scabs here. But if they do, we'll be able to clear the 4/2s, which is the only real concern. Our opponent, however, has been able to create a bunch of random stuff that's going to cause pain, which is bad. I think I want to start with the zombie. It could be a counter spell here, in which case I'll actually sacrifice the Innervate. So I'm going to sacrifice Lingering Zombie. Alright, that's not it. Throw out the Innervate. Maybe Armor here, which would be an interesting choice. We need to draw cards. Would like to see a Feral Rage. We hit a Feral Rage and Bran, which is going to be good for us here. So we're going to do that. I'm going to Hero Power. And then I'm going to Rake to remove this guy. We got to keep in mind they're also going to be able to replay these, which is like really bad for us. We may have still just actually lost. And they actually do hit armor, so our only chance left to be able to win the game is just through like damage attacking with our hero. We need to be able to complete the quest and have like Bran quest reward. But the random stuff that our jackpot opponent received was all healing. Light Shower Elemental. We got the big taunts that are going to be in the way. Taunt in the way plus healing. Ice Barrier, which is healing. And they're going to be able to replay all that stuff. So as soon as we see either Contraband Stash or Tess, we're just going to bow out of the game because it's going to be totally over. Once they replay that stuff, we're never going to have the damage to be able to kill him. Same happened to me this morning. He took my Jace. Yeah, it's unfortunate, Sakura. The fact that they're not just like jamming this stuff feels pretty good. They Shadow Step and play it again just for the healing?
Our gift of frost shields us.
They're at 24. How are we killing them? We're actually just not killing them? Because we're not going to be able to Bran and quest reward. They're at 14. If I was able to Bran quest reward this turn... this and Hero Power. I'll have it next turn, but not this turn. So maybe we just go wide with the Anubricon here. Or does Anubricon let us actually do it?
Let's see.
I have to sacrifice a minion first. And then I'm one off lethal. Right, I gotta get going. So I wasn't able to totally think this turn through. I was afraid that the rope was going to start burning on me here.
Time grows short.
So I'm doing that. Hit. Hero. So, a bit unfortunate there. Had some tech issues, and I actually won that game. I've got Hearthstone coming back up, man. That's crazy, dude. So I was roping, but I was going to win with Bran and the hero card. I had lethal damage, and then I actually, unfortunately, had a bit of a computer issue. So we're going to get back in and keep going, but that's going to end up being a loss. Man, that's crazy. Super unfortunate, man. But I guess that happens. Does that ever happen to you guys? Surely it's not just me. Run into technical issues that cause you to lose a game. Alright, we're on to Frost DK. Officially, that's a loss, but we won that game. Yeah, we back, man. Had a bit of a technical issue. We lost the game because of it, too. I actually found lethal that game. And right as the rope was burning, I had a little bit of a technical issue.
The unholy fester.
Just computer issues, man. I think my computer actually, like, froze up. So the stream died, and then also Hearthstone died. So by the time I restarted everything, the Hearthstone game had already recorded as a loss. And then you guys, I'm assuming, we're looking at like some form of a blank screen. I'm just going to spend mana. I kind of hate playing this on one, but I think you're better off playing the minion and spending mana. It happens. The fact that they went face instead of, like, swinging into this, I don't know, maybe Fell Barrage to clear the board this turn? Yeah. Felt like a tell, but I think I'm fine with it. We just draw the card. Just gonna go ahead and Arms Dealer with a hero power. Push some damage face. Do they have the Relic of Extinction? And they do have the Relic of Extinction. Man, this is killing my mojo, like, big time. It happened again. At least it happened at the start this time. Yeah, it's still going to record as a game loss, though, which is unfortunate. Now we're just throwing away ranks because of computer issues. Also, that's the second time this has happened. If it happens a third time, I probably won't be back. I'm going to have to try to troubleshoot whatever the issue is. But that brings us back around to Shock Spitter Hunter. So we're going to give it a try and hope for the best. But again, if this tech issue happens again, I'm probably just going to go ahead and call an end to the stream there. So if it happens, I don't know if it's going to happen or when, but if it does, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your patience with the tech issues as well. Man, things overall really just not going all that good today. Hearthstone being mean to me. My own computer being mean to me. I want to find a weapon. Question is, do you keep Trog? I mean, if Trog is in the deck, if you're ever going to keep it, it's got to be when you're on turn 1. And we do hit a weapon here, which is good, so if they play like Shivering Sorceress, then we've got a weapon. We can honor kill it. It's actually big spell mage. Kinda hate to see that. They make this trade. I think we Trog again. Trog track? Let's see what we hit off the tracking here. No problem, all have bad days sometimes. It's gotta be Tavish, right? Is it Tavish, though? Or is it Wild Spirits? I mean, we do have a turn 3 play. But if we take this, we can't actually do anything until turn... I'm gonna take the Wild Spirits. Tavish is a fantastic card. I think you always want it in your hand. But just the way our hand is shaping up, I need stuff to do. And just having a 6-mana card in my hand that's doing nothing doesn't seem like it's going to be the way to go. Candle Shot. So, I mean, I can bump into this and Bloodseeker. It's going to buff the weapon. But then I kind of get into a pattern of, like, floating mana every single turn. So I can do this, and then turn 4 would be Bloodseeker this guy. But I kind of need to equip a weapon and start swinging here. Plus, if this thing's like hitting Shock Spitters, it's going to be really bad for my game plan overall. So I guess this is the play. Maybe we can hit like a Batty Guess to combine with the Wild Spirits. Yeah, it is, things are not going swimmingly today. Ranks going the wrong way. I guess the good news here, though... Go ahead and get down the Wild Spirits. Ooh, we got a weapon that's going to be coming off of this guy. Really no choice here but to swing face. Swing into this and, like, take the damage twice doesn't seem like all that good of a scenario here. But on the plus side, at least my computer isn't, like, totally cooked or something. I don't know what's causing it. That's not an issue that I've had in the past. It just, like, blue screened. And then did some kind of self-maintenance type deal. Timing on the weapon is going to be good. Ram is absolutely insane as far as a top deck. I'm going to need Shock Spitters, though, but I should be able to output a lot of damage. The other issue is I'm kind of going to want, like, the Devouring Swarm to be out of my hand before they could potentially play the Barbaric Sorceress.
Face your wrath.
Yeah, with all these weapons, there's a ton of potential for damage this game, but I'm going to have to actually find the Shock Spitters or the Selective Breeders. A little bit of redundancy in this deck, which is good. Also, our opponent just feels like they're pretty far ahead on board. And then next turn, potentially they have like Belinda or... man, I really hate to throw this away, but if I don't, they're going to get like a free Rune of the Archmage, which is going to be bad for us. So I have to hit here. And too many weapons this game. Unfortunate. This guy attacks first. Boom, boom, you die. That's a 3-mana card. I kind of have to replay this. and waste the coin.
Your end.
So I guess this damage needs to go face. We're going to hero power. Devouring Swarm is going to have to go here,
Now.
just to get it out of hand. Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. And then I'm just throwing away the coin. I'm throwing away the coin. Floating Mana is insane, but I can't play any of these cards. But I'm throwing away the coin just because I'm scared of the Barbaric Sorceress. And I amazed my opponent. If they play Belinda here, it's going to feel really bad, but I just don't have any options. If they ping this, I'm happy to see it, because that means they don't have any of those really powerful cards. They do have the hero card, though. So things not really shaping up here. They can turn on a dime, though. Things can turn on a dime. We do hit a Shock Spitter. So we're definitely going to swing. Thank you. Do this. Shock Spitter is... I want to play the expensive one as well. Next turn, Brand Shock Spitter is 14. So I'm still going to need a couple of turns to be able to kill him. And they can still have more healing in the deck. They still have one more Deep Water Evoker. On turn 9, if I have a second copy of Shock Spitter, I'll definitely be able to kill my opponent. Hard to tell how things are going this game. It's really going to depend on what they've drawn and how much health they can gain. This is a weak turn. I don't really need minions on the board to be able to kill my opponent anymore. I just need, like, time to be able to attack. Develop the Shock Spitters. Hopefully they don't play Theatar in this deck. But they're not doing anything really threatening. That's a bit of an issue, because the ping being able to freeze my face. Tavish is a good pickup, though. Off of Tavish, we would want Ice Trap to block out those big spells. And then maybe Zombies isn't that good. Zombies just get frozen by these guys.
Who to shoot?
Other question would be, do I want to deal 2, or do I want to summon something off of the Tavish? I mean, if I summon something off of the Tavish, I give them targets for these guys, which maybe doesn't feel great. But it's always Huffer, right? We always hit Huffer. I think I want... Nah, that doesn't make sense. I don't want to bounce that back to their hand so they can freeze my face again. I want Ice Trap, because big spells are how they're winning the game. And then I can just take the Explosive Trap, I think, for the damage at this point. And, just like I told you, always Huffer. So Shock Spitters are dealing 14. We've got the Ice Trap in play to prevent anything too crazy from our opponent. They're also taking 3. And the order here from our opponent isn't great. I mean, we take a little bit of damage off of that, but they're losing the minion, which is going to be good for us. So I'm assuming they ping face here. They really don't want us to attack again. Selective Breeder's a good pickup for us, and then of course second Shock Spitter. Hydrolodon's even good, considering we have the improved Ice Trap to be able to block for us. So we still have quite a few good draws here that could potentially help us get there. Really just don't want to see second Deep Water Evoker. This is a misplay by our opponent. They needed to freeze our face, unless they just don't realize that we're playing Shock Spitter. So the Shock Spitter now is going to be 16 damage, so potentially I just have lethal. Like Huffer here is lethal, and it's always Huffer. Remember, when you click this button, you got to make sure that you actually summon Huffer. So, unfortunately, you know, maybe for me, and also possibly for you, Definitely done my fair share of complaining today. Wah, jackpot road. Wah, unlucky. Wah, my computer. But I'm 3 for 3 on Huffer. Every time I've clicked that button with Tavish, I've hit a Huffer. So now, let me ask you this. Does that even out? Or does Hearthstone still owe me? Should I be satisfied with how things are going? Because I've rolled Huffer 3 out of 3 times, 3 times in a row? Or should I still be sad?
Raw power is no substitute for true strength.
I don't think you keep both. One is fine. You don't keep the silence unless you have the corporal in hand either. It's also interesting that a lot of my opponents, I've been facing people like, you know, rank 250, 450, 400. I guess my MMR is still good, my rank is just bad. Hearthstone owes all of us? Yeah. You just play it right on turn 1. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that kills it, but I don't think I hold it in my hand. Because I know once we get to turn 6, everything on the board is going to get cleared. And they're going to heal for a ton. So I think I just have to play it out. At least in this way, they're not playing a location this turn. I think I want to go coin Undying Allies on the Haunting Nightmare. This is... I kind of think of this as being like a fast track approach. If these don't die, they hit for 4. If they do die, then maybe they land on the Mind Eater and I kind of reload the board with additional 4/3s. I mean, that's good, but I'm just going to make the play like this. We'll be able to equip Shadowcloth Needle next turn. Imagine they clear all 3 of these minions, and then I top deck like the High Cultist. This card is so good in certain circumstances where you've had a lot of undeads die. And 3 undeads is insane. Also, with these being on the board, it kind of guarantees that this will be active that following turn. We'll take the 1/1. I mean, it's not awful. So I want to equip this, get a 4/3 on the board, and then I think I want to remove this guy. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to like ping and Mindseer here. Then that lets us push face. Our opponent is going to have like Unleash Fel with spell power potentially next turn. But we'll get some insight. No, this is from the deck. Jaeger, I finally remembered. It's from the deck. I think we have to do it. Man, they've got nothing. As long as they don't have Relic of Dimensions, we're in such a good spot here. We're going to deal 5 and summon a 4/3. Like, there's no question it has to be the play. It spends mana, deals damage, puts stuff on the board. Likely we're just going to trade this. We've already used both Mindseers and 1 Undeath, so there's no reason to hold on to it. The 4/3 is going to die here, unfortunately.
Pick me! Pick me!
Fel DH, yeah, for sure. I'm assuming they're playing the Relics, though. Well, yeah, they are playing the Relics, but I think all DH plays the Relics now. We're going to start with the trade. The Corporal actually makes this an interesting turn. This deals 1. I mean, I play Undying Allies, the 1/1 dies. Am I going to spend damage removing the School Teacher, though, is the question. I mean, it's unlikely they can remove both copies of this if the School Teacher is gone from the board, but then I'm also missing 4 damage face, so I'm not even really setting up lethal. I mean, we're definitely going all in. It's just a question of... Well, I can't clear anyway because I don't have the mana to be able to hero power. So we make the play like this. We're just totally out of stuff here. Like, if we don't exactly top deck a Grave Digging, we're gonna have no cards in hand the rest of the game. So likely next turn it's this hero power, and then on turn 8, we're just gonna have to play the 8 mana version of Astalor and take our 7 damage. Oh, spell DH rather than troll? Yeah, I see what you're saying. We're so close, but I feel like the rug's going to get pulled out from under us here. Second Extinction goes 4/4. Look, they... Okay, so they do hit the dimensions finally, but their draw was really bad. I mean, even now, they've drawn 3 cards this turn, but at the start of the turn, they still had 19 cards in deck on turn 7. Spell Barrage with the spell power. Oh, wow. Wow, man, that's crazy. We're behind now. It's a pretty straightforward play. Hopefully they don't hit Unleash Fel. But I mean, we still don't kill him unless we draw exactly Shadow Word Undeath. Plus, they're also drawing 2, like, free cards here. I think we just lost the game. Well, top deck, Void Touch Attendant, the second one, would kill him with a hero power. Shadow Word Undeath. Both Grave Diggings would be fine. Guild Trader, we could trade. Unfortunate that they were able to do that. But as long as there's not an Unleash Fel, we still have our chances to be able to win the game. It's just so close, this game. Oh, I think we died. Is that game? I'm not sure how much damage they have. Oh, they got the spell power. We did die. Yeah, we died. Crazy, man. Our opponent's draw was really bad. They drew 11 cards in the last 2 turns, though, so they made up for it pretty quickly. We were so close to being able to kill him. So close. You know, I feel like deck roulette doesn't seem like a very good way to try to climb the ladder. I think if you actually want to climb, you're better off just picking one deck that you know is good, and then just jam it. Against Death Knight? I wonder which version. I hope it's not Unholy, but I haven't seen anybody playing Unholy. If it's Frost, that's kind of like a throwback to prior to the nerfs, but you could beat Frost Death Knight with this deck even before the nerf to Construct Quarter, so maybe we're okay. And then if it's Blood Death Knight, it starts to become pretty likely that we just lose. Oh, and it is. It starts to become pretty likely that we just lose to either Patchwork or Theatar. So I feel like this is just a really, really bad matchup for us. I think I want the Nourish here. Turn 3, we're basically doing nothing. Maybe I just throw out the Astalor. Having this on turn 4 would be nice. Maybe it actually is just this. Because it's going to be a 50-50 to hit Nourish. And it gives us a turn 4 play. The reason why I wanted the Nourish, though, is because then that would also activate Pathmaker, but it feels like I'm going to have to just take the 50-50. So we'll match there. We're going to match the Astalor here. So again, it feels like the game just comes down to do they have Patchwork? What does it hit? And then do they have Theatar? And are they able to steal one of our combo pieces? We actually already have 2 pieces of the combo. We just need a noob and we need a bunch of mana. And we need it soon. Normal DH stuff. Is that normally how that matchup goes? I feel like I don't see very many Fell Demon Hunters. We got another Theatar hater. I hate it too, Jaeger. It's, I don't know, it's just frustrating. You play an entire game of Hearthstone, and the result of the game comes down to what they discover from your hand. But I mean, it's a 40-card deck, so there's no guarantee that they would ever have it. We actually do hit the Nourish here, which is great. And I guess I just take the trade. It's highly unlikely that a Blood Death Knight's going to be able to pressure our health total, especially considering we have healing with the quest. When you think about the combo, it doesn't really matter whether we hit their face or trade for minions on the board, because at the end of the day, when you're talking about the Astalor combo, minion health on board basically just gets added to the health total of the hero, so it didn't really matter, I don't think, if we trade or go face there. Maybe this is where they're grabbing their Theatar? Although it looks like they're thinking about it. I mean, even if they play Theatar on turn 6, it still ends up being pretty strong for them because they know we have Astalor. And in this particular case, we actually already have Bran as well. Alright, I want to Nourish for mana, and then I'm going to draw 3 cards off of the Pathmaker. We don't overdraw, so that's pretty straightforward. And then this gets our hand nice and full, or fuller, just in case they do have a Theatar play. It increases our chances, but I mean, they always hit it, right? Let's be realistic. Another question that I have after seeing this, if they Theatar and steal our band manager, do they discover cards that they put in their copy, or are they discovering cards that I put in my copy?
Pick me! Pick me!
I don't know what that interaction looks like. That's also good for them, too. It's actually really good for them. They've been able to build the board effectively. But at this point, if we were to top deck, say, Lingering Zombie, we could actually clear the board. Even the 5/5s would die. We don't. So what do we need to kill them? We need a noob. And we need Innervate. So I'm going to check the bottom of the deck. Actually, I think maybe I draw the Innervate first. Then I can check the bottom of the deck. 15. Ooh. Well, I can go Pounce and this guy. I think I do this first. That way if there's an Innervate on the bottom, it's out of the way. It makes the aquatic form more likely to find the Anub. So we'll get you out of the deck, and we're going to Aquatic. Anub is on the bottom. So I'm going to take that for next turn. And then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to Pounce. This is actually going to help heal me here. And we'll make these trades. And then I'm going to push this damage face. So we're really, really vulnerable here to Theatar. So pretty much if they have Theatar, it's likely that we lose. It's the turn before Patchwork. If they don't have Theatar, then we should just be able to kill them with the combo. Oof.
Is no excuse for bad manners.
They didn't snap pick, so maybe This is what we're looking at. I mean, it's 2 out of 6. They discover 3, so they discover half of our hand. Oh, and they hit the brand, man. What a great game of Hearthstone this was. What a great game of Hearthstone this was. 40 card deck. This was not discovered from their band manager. They've drawn 11 cards, and they had the Theatar, and they hit exactly our brand. Is there any reason to keep playing the game? I kind of don't think so, but I do want to show him that I had the combo here. Actually, maybe this still gets us there.
Our gift of fire empowers us.
I guess we'll see what our opponent does. I mean, I think they probably clear the board. The fact that they have a 5-1 that sticks here is bad. And this is only 20 damage. But we do have options that would kill him. I mean, it's the turn before Soul Stealer. I guess we can wait and see one more turn. But it's not looking good. If I had... Was there a minion? I can't remember if there was a minion that I would have been able to target with the Obliterate first. That would have guaranteed cleared the board and done a little more face. Now you need to put Theatar into ETC. If I was going to be playing a lot of Blood Death Knight, that's probably a good option, because most games you would have time to be able to Theatar back, but I mean, it would be... They have 9 cards in hand, so it's a low chance that I would be able to steal back exactly the brand. Now they're healing. That's got to be a concede, right? They rope the game-winning healing. Yeah, see, look at this, man. They rope the game-winning healing, so... Nothing they did that game mattered at all, except playing Theatar and Hearthstone saying you get to choose to take their win condition. That's what they did. Then they roped when they had game-winning healing, and then they emoted me as I left the game. This is the stuff that we have to put up with. I think I blame the developers. Because it's not a child's fault that they're playing a children's card game. It's the developer's fault for designing cards that way.
The unholy fester.
You keep the weapon against Rogue. I think I'm keeping the weapon against Rogue. Unlikely that there's going to be targets on the board to swing into. But I need, like, stuff to do in the early game. In this version of the deck, there's only 8 one-cost cards. So if I toss it, we're not necessarily going to be getting a play for turn 1. That's why I dislike Blood DK. It's literally a 30-minute game, which ends up like this. Yeah, it's no decision in that game mattered. Nothing I did mattered, other than the fact that I set up lethal. Other than the fact that I set up lethal. But then the game just ends because of Theatar. Man, this is tough. Like, this hand is absolutely awful. I'm gonna coin this out on 5. I'm, like, highly considering frost striking my own minion here. Ultimately, I guess I'm not going to. If I knew I could discover, like, Thessarian, or if I could discover, like, the Lady Death Whisper, then I would just do it, but I guess it's just as likely I find something worthless. This also feels like it's shaping up to be Miracle Rogue, so I need them to be slow, because I need to get to my Frostworm's Fury, so maybe I actually have to save the coin to be able to do this on 6. And I need to either draw or discover another copy. They're actually going in on turn 4, so this is going to be another great game. The only question is going to be, is it location or is it Draka?
That's right. Feel the groove.
They give it Rush. Stenographer. Second Stenographer. Alchemist. So we have both Frostworm Furies here. I mean, I think the play is actually just double Frost Strike, right? And actually, I'll be able to... I can double coin one of these guys if I need to.
I'll find the answer.
They have 2 coins. I mean, Thessarian has 2 bad targets, so it's only 3 out of 5. So I think I just Frost Strike to remove minions, and I can swing into this. They're going to be left with only a 4/4. None of this is really great. So I'll do that, and then I'm going to Frost Strike this guy. I'll be able to swing in here. It only leaves 1 minion on the board. We only have 1 Horn of Winter left in the deck, so the Frigidera is actually, like, worthless this game. We drew all of our Frost spells. So I can take the Harbinger of Winter and possibly never even play it. So where are we getting the damage to kill our opponent from is the other question. I mean, turn 6, turn 7, but they're going to have potentially more concoctions with kill a random enemy. Plus they're going to have Astalor for healing. Second Shadow Step. How can they still have 20 cards in their deck? They've played so much, I thought they had a lot less cards left in their deck. Marrow Manipulator. So I kind of need to get some stuff on the board here, I guess. Even just these guys. No more Shadow Steps. Shadow of Demise is gone. So I'm going to get these guys out. It's going to give me corpses for the Marrow Manipulator, and then I'm going to swing in here. So we're going to have coin Fury into Fury. We just have to hope that our opponent doesn't draw Draka or a location. I mean, location's not even that bad, because we're going to be freezing the minions. So we're worried about, like, concoctions that kill a random enemy minion. And we're worried about Draka. They actually choose to go face here, so that's okay for us. We actually have a second copy of the coin as well. Don't need it this turn. So, I mean, this is a lethal setup. I'm assuming that we don't get there this turn, but we do have lethal if something crazy doesn't happen. These could potentially go face. Destroy random minions is bad for us, but it feels like we're getting somewhat close. Next turn, we actually have 10 mana. Okay. 2 goes face. Ooh, 4 goes face. Hearthstone's making up with me for what happened last turn. I think we just won, though. Like, their hand is empty. Both potion belts are gone. Even if they have a way to remove this, which I don't think they do, they would need, like, second prep, second bone spike. Okay, destroy a random minion. But I'm still going to freeze their face, and then we're going to have a 5/5 on the board that can punch them. Plus, the band manager has the weapon in it. So they have to be able to deal 9 this turn. And it's not going to happen. So I just go Horn of Winter Hero Power, punch him, and then next turn I can discover the weapon. Maybe I hold on to it. No reason to actually do it this turn. The only way that we don't win is if they have a taunt or some type of healing, and I don't think those are options.
Our gift of frost shields us.
They'd have to be incredibly lucky to kill us with this. Oh, it's still that version, but they need to remove the 5/5 as well, though. They gave it rush. Crazy, dude. Actually crazy. They were able to give it rush with a randomly created dog biscuit. Hearthstone still being mean to me. So, I'm kind of 1 mana short from being able to do something cool here. It's definitely going to be a band manager. I think I can only freeze 3 minions, though, is the issue. Stelor doesn't get us there. So we're going to freeze 3. But I need it to be the right 3, like the big ones. Are they ever going to have 5 damage, I wonder?
You pest. Top little death knight.
I don't think they ever have 5 damage here. I'm gonna go ahead and Horn of Winter and get this guy out. I mean, it's just another minion that they're gonna have to remove that helps threaten lethal. They do have the trade here if they can't kill us. This draws us Horn of Winter. Next turn I can go like Hero Power, and I've got Bran Marrow Manipulator to be able to spend all of the corpses that I have. Aim is just so close. I don't think they have 5 damage though. Both Potion Belts gone. Not enough cards to play. They'd have to play their entire hand plus a 5 mana Draka. Shadow Step's gone. Are we getting done in by random potions? 'Cause that'd be insane. Any recommendation on what band tour to pick? Pick the one you like. If class packs matter to you,
Only the cold are fit to rule.
then, you know, potentially... Oh, nice. We just won. If the class packs matter to you, just pay attention because each different tour offers different class packs. For me, the choice came down to the portraits. I don't know that we're ever going to be able to get access to the portrait from the band tours that we didn't choose. So I went with the one that you know, had the portrait that I like the best. Let's hop over and take a look. Hadn't really made a whole lot of progress on mine. But so I thought that this was the best portrait. I didn't enjoy the mage portrait. It came down to this and the Rakara, which was good. But I kind of mentioned this earlier. The Rakara portrait, you know, it's like the hero that goes up and down in the portrait, kind of like this. Hopefully this is translated. Oh yeah, man. Look, I could be a Hearthstone portrait. Maybe I should make a GIF and just put that like down in my Hearthstone portrait. But so you can see, like with the Masters of Soul tour, I think it was, yeah, Druid, Shaman, and Warlock. So if the class packs matter, for standard class packs, make sure you take that into account. Otherwise, you know, for me it was the portrait, and I guess that's the only difference in them. Also, just another reminder, with these are standard class packs. I think probably literally everyone playing Hearthstone is better off waiting until the expansion to open these, because in April, 3, or roughly half, or exactly half, of the standard sets that are in Hearthstone now are going to rotate to Wild. So if you're interested in playing Standard, you're going to wait until those sets have gone to Wild, and then you'll be able to open Standard cards, which could be from the new set, or at least from sets that are going to be around for another year. So you might want to keep that in mind as well. Hey Andy, how are the games going? So, Andy, if you're just stopping by, maybe anybody else is just stopping by, you're going to want to offer me your condolences. So we started off around rank 800. And you can see, so we've been losing ranks. Rank 500 is like the other way. Then on top of that, my computer locked up twice. The stream died twice. Both of those lockups happened also while I was in a game that resulted in a loss. One game, I was actually in the process of killing my opponent. I had lethal, rope burning, boom, loss that should have been a win. And then I think the other one was I lost a game that was on like turn 1 or turn 2, which I assumed that I would have won anyway because, I mean, it's me. I picked Rokara because I don't have any Rokara skins. There you go. I like the Rokara skin too. I really do. But I thought that Druid skin was nice as well. Yeah, I'm going to hit this Q button and I'm going to sneak off to the restroom just really quickly here, man. I'll be back before we have to mulligan. Thanks for watching. See you in just a minute.
Illyria versus Arana!
What shall I play?
Cower before Death's Keeper.
Man, I think I just barely missed it. I mean, the hand's not too bad. I don't know that I would have kept Harpoon Gun. I don't know that I would have kept this either. Plus, I think Demon Hunter's just a bad matchup for the deck. This is a straightforward turn. We'll get the minion on the board. Maybe you can have the opportunity to do a little bit of something. Next turn's going to be Wild Spirits, Final Swing. And then... Ooh. So this... Ooh, man, I don't know. They have one kept card. It could be that they have Relic of Phantasms. Other option would be Relic of Extinction. I would assume is going to be this card over here. I could go like this into this. But it has me floating mana. Next turn, I'm likely just going to want a Harpoon Gun because I want to keep the weapon damage coming for Shock Spitters. I guess I just play on curve. Like, playing off curve would be silly, but it feels pretty enticing at times to do, like, this into this. I just drew it one turn late.
Who to shoot?
Just
So, I mean, I can play the Harpoon Gun, but I'm only going to get to swing once, and then it's overwritten. Do I want to dredge to take a look at the bottom of the deck? Okay. It's not too bad. I hope that picks up for you. Thanks, Andy. We're going to do the best we can. This comes online next turn. I think I just play these guys. Go ahead and get a Shock Spitter in hand. We missed one turn of attacking, but I think it's fine.
Caught this one eating party snacks.
And it's got to be Shock Spitter. This is going to give me 2 Shock Spitters. I don't know that the game actually goes to turn 8, though. Their turn 5 could be Coin Relic of Dimensions with the Vault, which would be really good for them. And then on turn 6, like, all of my minions are going to get cleared. I'm happy to see the Predation gone, though. Another Wild Spirits. I mean, next turn is only turn 5, and turn 6 is when they can go Spell Power, Unleash Fell to get the big heal, so I think I just go ahead and, and try to keep up the minion pressure. All damage goes face. The other unfortunate thing is, I mean, I only have these on turn 8 if there's something on the board that this can die to, which also there's no guarantee. Here comes the 4/4s. I think we just won the game, right? How much damage do we have left? Because I can even... There's another Shock Spitter as well. Here's to a smoother stream. Andy coming in hot. Thank you so much for that, Andy. Coming in with a 5. I really appreciate that, man. You don't have to do that. I'm sure I'll stop whining at some point. Do I need to throw away minions here? Because I can, like, throw away 2 minions.
Who to shoot?
Where do I just kill him? 6... 12. I actually don't kill them. So if I throw away minions, I throw away these 2 guys, I still deal 3 face, I deal 6 face, I deal 8 face. They go to 8. Or do I just go ahead and... I mean, if I set them to 2, and then they have the Unleash Fell and the heal... It's just too much healing for them. So I think I have to actually do it like this. And I've already attacked this turn, so I actually leave them at 11. This is kind of hedging my bets against the... I mean, it's still lethal if they don't heal. But now if they have, like, Spell Power Unleash Fell, it does less healing for my opponent. You can see they do have it. So they heal for 9, but it's not a full heal. Here's the Hydralodon. So there's no way they have second Unleash Fell, right? I can just swing and Hydralodon to remove this. And then next turn I can swing again, and these guys are going to be dealing 16. 19. No shot that they have second Unleash Fell. 20 cards left in the deck. If I hit here and Hero Power,
To shoot.
even if they have it,
Face your red.
and we're not dying either. So next turn I've got 19. If they had Unleash Fell, they would go to exactly 19. Unless they played it. Yeah, maybe it's better to just not Hydralodon this turn.
Face your red.
I need to remove the Spell Power just in case. I'm going to take the Tracking. And then I'm going to shoot him. They're at 16, and I've got 19 damage in hand with the attack and these guys. They've already played the hero card. But again, like, the problem is, if I Hydralodon and they do happen to have second Unleash Fell, I just lose. So I think this is the play where I just never lose. Yeah, and then you can see, I don't know if they actually had it or not, but this was like a guaranteed way to be able to win the game here. So we're going to hit, and then we're going to play our Shock Spitters. So at the risk of repeating myself, this play was, we guaranteed setting up lethal. They weren't going to be able to heal out of range based on the cards we knew they had left in the deck. Even if they heal for 3, we still had exact lethal. If they had like Spell Power second Unleash Fell, they would have needed like double Spell Power Unleash Fell, which I don't think was an option based on the amount of mana that they had. So the Hydralodon play probably wins most of the time, but there's some percentage of games where playing Hydralodon, they go Spell Power Unleash Fell and go back to 30, and then we actually lose that game. So it was kind of like a 100% win versus a, call it 95% win. We want to make sure that we're taking the 100% every time.
Will serve me.
We're going to keep these guys and just try to curve out. Blood Death Knight is a bad matchup. Ooh, this is insane. This is so good if it's Frost or Unholy. This is like really good. And of course it's actually Blood because people are donkeys, man. Straight scarecrows. This is going to be a really hard game to win.
I do so. I seem to have lost the focus.
That was weak. I mean, if I coin this and then silence, I get to start punching for 5 every single turn. We're going to be floating a mana next turn like this, but just having a 5/5 to punch our opponent in the face repeatedly is going to be really good. The only thing that stops us is like Obliterate or Asphyxiate. They have a small number of cards in hand. And the fact that they just attacked into this is pretty good for us. And we get an achievement if we make this play. It's like a win all the way around, right? Surely we don't lose this game.
The time has come to dethrone our former master.
I mean, second silence, I think we kind of have to. The only thing that we would want to save the silence for is for the Najak. But if I just play out the Haunting Nightmare, then they go boom, hero power, and this guy dies.
What is in
So I think I want to try to keep the gravy coming here. Keep that gravy train rolling. Be back in one moment. I need to let Matty Dog out.
All life must end.
Man, if I had known that going and letting my dog out was going to win me the game, then I probably would have done that a while ago. Let me, before I queue this up, I want to check the stats. Where are we at on Quest Druid? I need to set it to today's stats. Today. Yeah, check it out, Bluebill. I'm going to let my dog out every game. I'm going to have bowls of water all over my house for my dog so that she has to go out all the time, because apparently that's like the winning play. So we're 3-2 with Undead Priest today. 2-2 with the Death Knight, Frost Death Knight. 4-1 with Shock Spitter. And 0-4 with Quest Druid. So we've lost all of our ranks because of Quest Druid. So I think I'm going to actually take Quest Druid out of the lineup. This has been 50-50, and then we're winning with these two. So I'm actually going to shorten the roulette here, and we're just going to go back to Spitter Hunter. At the very least, it'd be nice to get my rank back to where it was when we started. Even if we're not going to be able to really climb here.
Sylvanas versus Tyrande.
I cannot find eternal rest, and neither will you.
Against Priest?
I will never serve.
I think we keep the Wild Spirits. I'm assuming it's going to be Undead Priest. So the interesting thing about Undead Priest is Hydralodon can win us the game as long as they don't have the weapon equipped. If they have the weapon equipped and an Undead on the board, then we can't take the chance because they can actually clear Hydralodon with the Shadow Word Undeath play. Which would, like, absolutely wreck me here. So we're going to trade Dog Biscuit and go from there. But if I get the opportunity with a Selective Breeder, then I'm probably going to want to take a Stormpike Battle Ram and potentially have this on 5, but it's going to be very, very dependent on the state of the board and the state of, you know, just what's going on in the game. I just have to keep it in mind, otherwise it can just be really, really bad for us. Just going to go ahead and trade the dog biscuit here. We're going to take some damage, but we've got a good 2 into 3. And they didn't develop, which is good for us. But again, we are taking damage, which is bad for us. Hopefully with the Wild Spirits we hit a 3-1 with Rush. If we don't, that's actually going to be bad for us as well. Yeah, the damage is already adding up. They've done nothing but play a 1-drop, 1 spell, a hero power. We're at half health, man. It's crazy. And if I don't actually hit the Rusher off of this, I think we just lose. But we're gonna find out. But I think the game is actually over here. I mean, next turn I can Devouring Swarm to remove this, but it's just too much damage. 5 every turn. No way I can afford to swing into that, but... yeah, I mean, they could have Animate Dead, and we're actually just getting farmed by this single minion here. It's going to be the first weapon swing as well. And our plays aren't even that good. So I want to go ahead and maximize my damage first. I'm going to be killing this thing last. So we'll do this. And then go ahead and get this off the board. So we did a little bit of damage of our own here. So if they have... gosh, it's just so likely that the board doesn't survive. They actually do have the Animate Dead. So they're clearing the board and killing us. Plus the grave digging. Board is gone. We're at 7. Shock Spitters aren't doing hardly anything. And this thing has to die, so I'm going to have to use a Shock Spitter on it. But I mean, the damage is mounting up on them as well here. I mean, again, I'm just wanting to maximize my damage. And then point out a Shock Spitter to kill this. We may actually be able to come back on this, though. Hunter's your favorite class, Andy? I guess Hunter is my favorite class. It's the only class that I have over 2,000 wins with. Oh, I think we're just dead, man. It's so close. Look how close it is. But there's a lot of things that kill us here. I mean, even if I get second Shock Spitter, it's not enough. I need a weapon. I can't afford to play this, because if I do, then we're dead to second Mind Seer. There's too many things that kill us here. Not hitting a 3-1 rush on the Wild Spirits basically just cost us the game. What would I even take with this? I mean, there's no more Shock Spitters. Is the one damage ever matter? 1, 3, 7? I don't think the 1 damage ever even matters here, but I don't think having this minion on the board actually kills us either. This was another really close game, man. We just got absolutely farmed by the Attendant. And then they had an Animate Dead to bring it back. It's the only minion they've played this entire game. And it's just so much damage. I'm actually going to miss this minion. I really like this. And I like this Priest deck as well. Well, that's not winning them the game. That actually doesn't win them the game either. That wins us the game. They're desperate. They're on the ropes, regretting all the plays they've made the entire game. They have the silence? Ah, they had the silence, man. Candle shot off the top wins the game, I think, though, right? It certainly does. Top deck lethal. Oh, baby. Man, we got farmed by the 1-3 and still won the game. 5-1 with Shock Spitter Hunter, by the way. If you're looking for a deck to climb with, this could be the way. Maybe deck roulette is a good way to climb the ladder. Like, you have to spend the first certain amount of time figuring out what doesn't work, which for me, 50-50, not really climbing, losing like crazy. I think 0-4. But then these two guys have been good. Shockspitter Hunter, we're like 5-1. And then this Undead deck is 3-2. I've been switching every game, but the discrepancy in the stats was caused because... Well, the Druid actually, one of those losses is a win. That was one of my computer freeze-ups where I was winning the game. And I think the other one was on the Priest. Or no, Deck Tracker would have been frozen as well, so the Druid should be 1-4. And the Priest could be as good as 4-2. That game was froze up so early, there's no way to know what would have actually happened. I can't remember, I may have not completed an entire thought, but Hunter is the only class that I have more than 2,000 wins with. And then I think I have maybe 3 other classes that are more than 1,000. So I guess, historically, in the times that I've played Hearthstone, Hunter has been my favorite deck as well.
Death, lend me your power.
Death Knight again? I like seeing that. Turn 1 and then Undying Allies Haunting Nightmare on 2. Still need to see what kind of a deck this is. I'm going to have to go let my dog back in, and then I need to let her back out really quickly so that this Death Knight will concede. We're going to do it for science and see if that's actually the way it works. And then you'll know if you want to win more Hearthstone, you're actually going to have to get a dog if you don't have one. If you do have one, you're going to have to be able to take them out. And that's going to increase your win rate. These are the kind of things that you only learn by watching Uncorrupt. Right here on YouTube.
Speak to me.
Oh man. So we don't know if it's Frost or if it is... We don't know if it's Frost or if it's Unholy. I feel like if I play this, I just take a bunch of damage and die, dude. Because they can hero power with this,
What is it?
and we just start taking damage. I wonder if I actually coin hero power this on 2 into these on 3, and maybe hold off. I really feel like on the coin here, the Void Touch Tenant is going to lose me the game. Plus, I always kind of fear these arms dealers as well. If it's Frost, this matchup, well, either matchup, Frost or Unholy, feels really hard, and especially on the coin, because your opponent always has initiative. If they hero power here, I'm feeling really good. They play a minion, so I'm feeling not so good. Oh, Kitty Cat. Maybe Kitty Cat is going to be the good luck charm this game. The next turn will likely make this play, but if it's Frost, you have to actually kill them or set up lethal before like turn 7, because they're going to start freezing the board with the Frostworm Fury.
Reach for the skies.
Okay, they decide to trade here. Chillfall and Baron. Not super helpful for us. But we could potentially play it on turn 4, like with an Animate Dead, and then that's going to guarantee that the Undeath is active. But again, you play this on turn 5 to clear your opponent's board, they just refill the board, and then you're in the same spot going into turn 6. You just get like a little bit of extra damage.
Run as fast as you can.
If they choose to trade into this, maybe we get lucky, and they land on the cards that we want to play anyway. I mean, it's roughly a 50-50. Top deck Corporal would also be good now that we have the Whispers of the Deep in hand. Because, like, Corporal Whispers likely clears the board, and then if this dies, we would also be playing the Animate Dead. We just need, like, one really good turn to be able to take initiative away from our opponents. But the problem is, we're already starting to run out of time. It's turn 4. And the Frostworm's Fury is looming heavily. Now we see it's actually Unholy Death Knight.
Run as fast as you can.
I'm not sure if this is a better matchup or not. Now the concern is just losing to Lord Marrowgar. Wonder if they're going to trade for this. They are. Whispers of the Deep. Oh wow, they both landed on this. And we top deck the Corporal. It doesn't clear, but it makes our board insane. So again, I feel like Hearthstone is just apologizing to me. That could have gone better. I was really hoping that 2 minions would die. Only 1 died. But this definitely has us in a much better position than what we were. So now, again, the concern is just like Lord Marrowgar on turn 8. They play it and we just lose the game. If they have a lot of corpses. But I'm feeling better. I mean, we can even trade with this guy. Undeath, clear the board, and then we still have a board. Like, they're removing 2 minions here. But we would still have 2 4/3s, and we're clearing the board. So it's going to be 12 damage face. Feels pretty good. Pick up a Bone Breaker. So, assuming these stick, next turn we have like Bone Breaker and these for like a ton of extra damage. Actually, we just do it this turn. I don't know what I'm thinking. The only issue is that Shadow Word Undeath is no longer going to be active. But I push so much damage. This has to be the play. It's just like way too much damage, even though this goes unactive. Or inactive, I guess I should say. We set our opponent to 10. And then next turn I can play this guy. Still deal 4 face in a lot of cases. Or I guess in every case because of the weapon. And then the following turn, Undeath would be active. I almost misplayed that last turn, not thinking. It's actually Rainbow DK. But I think this just wins the game for us here.
I've got plenty of
Oh yeah. Still had a lot more damage that I could have done too. This guy hits for 6. And I didn't swing with the weapon either. So I think we're roughly back to where we've started, now that we've stopped playing the bad decks. Actually, before I go any farther, let me take a look at a couple of things. So we got our second standard class pack, Warlock, in this run. I'm halfway to the portrait, which is probably what I really want. Achievement points. What was I wanting to look at? Class wins. So you can see, no surprise here, Death Knight, not even level 60. New class that came out. I haven't played it a super whole lot. Really low on the wins there. Hunter's number 1, over 2,000. And second is Rogue. Followed by Warrior and Druid. And I don't remember the last time I was playing Warrior. I got a lot of wins on that at some point. Shaman close to 1,000. And then other than Death Knight, I think it's either Demon Hunter or Priest. Demon Hunter the lowest. So you can see not like an overwhelming amount of games from Uncorrupt here in Hearthstone's history, but some. Also, I had games, I have no idea how many, but I had games before they started tracking wins by class. I don't remember exactly what year that started, but some of it was lost to the mists of time. Also, I'm a little bit surprised and thankful. After having 2 computer issues, I really thought that I was going to have to end the stream, but I've been able to keep it going here, so that's been nice.
Cower before Death's Keeper.
Likely Shadow Priest again. Can't really afford to keep Harpoon Gun, right? I mean, we're going first. I would rather have like a cheaper weapon and then maybe like the wild spirit stuff. Maybe you just never throw away weapon. It doesn't feel good keeping something for turn 3 though. Like I want to do something earlier. And I don't think you ever keep the Astalor either. I don't think it's a keep. I might regret it. Alright, well we hit double candle shot and selective breeder. And it is Shadow Priest as well. Oh, and we hit Bran.
Face your red.
So things are looking okay. So this is a game our opponent kept 4. This is a game where they probably, or maybe, want to consider not playing Void Touched Attendant if that's what they have. Now that I have this in hand, with weapons, I'm going to be swinging every single turn. I think I want to actually selective breeder for a Stormpike Battle Ram.
Face your red.
Because Bran, this guy is going to deal like a metric ton of damage. I just need to make it cheaper.
Here, girl. There's still an ambush.
It's going to be good enough, right? I mean, I take damage every turn from me punching them. Next turn, it's going to be like swing, hero power, equip. Turn 4 this, I punch again. And then anytime after turn 5, I've got like this combo. I think it's the play. What would you do? Do you take another Shock Spitter? Surely you don't take Hydrolodon.
As fast as you can.
We actually top deck second Ram, which is somewhat irrelevant.
Circle round.
Face your red.
Hydrolodon's just a liability in this matchup. But again, they would have to have like weapon equipped plus Shadow Word Undeath to be able to clear the Hydrolodon board. Oh, and we get Tavish. Man, things are looking pretty good here. So we want to keep pushing damage face.
Your red.
I think I want the Battle Ram to hit this guy. Because I don't want him to just repopulate the board with the 4/3s. Next turn, I'll be able to do this, like, plus something else, and still maintain my discounts. And then I'm going to have a Bran turn that's going to give me 5 armor, and potentially do other cool stuff. And this guy's actually going to live as well. Hero power, hit, hit, hit. Pass turn. So next turn, I've got Tavish, likely for a defensive play. I mean, these guys deal 14 anytime I want it.
All ends with death.
They had the silence as well. We're down to 11. We're down to 9. Okay. These guys dealing 14 though. Almost looks like we're going to be a little bit off, potentially. We'll be able to fit in a hero power. 16? It's still just a little bit off. So what do I need? I need explosive trap, I guess. That's terrible. Ice Trap is better than Motion Denied. They're not going to play 3 cards, I don't think. Surely they never play 3 cards. Maybe this prevents damage in some way? I didn't hit the explosive trap, which means I'm potentially not killing my opponent. I'm at 14. They're going to have lethal, so I have to take the freezing trap here. Then we're going to hit face. So I've got 14. It's so close, but it feels like we're actually losing this game. It's really, really close. If I hit the explosive trap... we were still one off, but we have tracking. Both candle shots are gone, though. I don't think I have a way to be able to kill him. It's like exactly Huffer. Can I go 4 out of 4 for Huffer? I'm 3 out of 3 Huffers right now. They might be thinking about motion denied here as well. Trog. So 14 Huffer is exact lethal, 1 out of 3. So it's 1 out of 3. It doesn't matter that I've hit Huffer 3 out of 3 times today, 3 times in a row, because it's always Huffer. That's 4 for 4 out of Huffer, and our opponent's going to be pretty mad. I kind of feel sorry for him, to be honest. Like, they just don't realize that I'm a pro Huffer roller. And so, you know, they're probably mad. You know, they're calling me lucky. They're calling me, you know, who knows what kind of names they're calling me right now. Probably a lot worse than lucky, but, you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. But, I mean, you just got to realize, you come up against Uncorrupt on the ladder, I'm a pro Huffer roller. 4 for 4 on the stream today. You know what I think the key is? The key is actually, when you do it, you have to say, always Huffer. And then it's just kind of like speaking it into existence. You summon Huffer by calling for him. Man, it's this matchup again. Oh man, it's so good. I'm keeping it, man. I'm keeping all of it. This is a spot keep, always keep, and I think you always keep this on coin, but certainly in this situation. Whispers of the Deep. Unfortunately, we got to take a pass here. I'm considering, do I want to coin out the Cathedral? Because I can coin Cathedral. I don't want to coin this, even with Undying Allies, because I don't want him to die and then not be able to bring him back with Basilisk. Well, that kind of ends the debate there. I'm just going to go ahead and play this. We're going to hold on to the coin. If I had top decked like an unplayable card, I think I just coined this. Oh, wow. Okay. We'll take it. Undying Allies, this guy, and then we're going face. So again, we're on a little bit of a clock. We know that they can heal massively, starting on turn 6 with the Unleash Fell. So all we're really scared of against this deck, I think, is Unleash Fell with... with spell power, but they run 4 spell power minions now. Oh, it landed on the coin and Basilisk. Oh, it's so good. I'm making this trade. I'm playing Basilisk, and then I'm going to coin out the Whispers on the Basilisk. And that's going to clear their board. And it's only turn 5. So I guess if they have spell power Unleash Fell, they clear everything but this. And they heal back to full, but I don't know, it's just super strong. This has to be the play. Has to be the play. I think my opponent's angry. They're calling me names, but I'm calling you names too, donkey. Stop roping, it's only turn 5. If they call me names, I can call them names too. Donkey, Scarecrow. What do you do? Honestly, their best play is probably still Spell Power Unleash Fell. I mean, they go back to full, they clear the board. We're going to be able to refill the board. And we got a Sethino in hand. I've got Sethino with a Cathedral, but I don't have any spells. I don't think it matters, though. Look at how much damage this is. Like, I'm still just going to play the Cathedral. I guess they have the potential healing next turn, which is bad. I have 19. I guess no matter what, I have 19. So I am going to Cathedral, and I'm going to buff this guy. If he's going to have like the spell power Unleash Fell Play, then I wanted to remove these guys because it's going to help me repopulate my board next turn. These are undead, so this will be active next turn. So I'm just going to get in the 2 damage off of this guy as well with the hero power. We set them to 4. If they have it, they go back to 19.
Potions, flasks, BOE, I got it all.
And they do have the board clear here. It looks like they both landed on this. Question is, how much do I care about the guild trader? Like, do I have to remove it? This definitely happens. I think I just want to draw cards off of the grave digging. Whispers of the Deep. Unfortunate. I wish I would have had that in hand already. But I guess it's fine. So I'm going to do this. And I guess I actually just play the Whispers of the Deep to remove this. Should be good. Gets the spell power off the board. Maybe protects a minion. So they kind of need like second Unleash Fell with spell power here. If they don't have it, we're getting really close to killing them. But it's kind of getting to that point in the game where our opponent is doing some unfair things. I can actually kill my own Thalnos. Kind of wanted this to be active. I have 8. I have 10. 12. It's just lethal, right? That doesn't matter. Let me double check. That's 10, 12, and then 15 with this guy. Plus, I mean, it's just like gravy damage. And we'll kill the Thalnos that we stole from him. Now they can call me more names and be satisfied with it. Rank 702. We finally started to climb. So the key when trying to climb is we had to get rid of the decks that weren't winning. Quest Druid was really bad for me, 0-4. Frost Death Knight I think was 2-2 when I looked at it. So for me and what I'm facing, Quest Druid, Frost Death Knight not performing well. I hit that big pocket of Jackpot Rogues as well, which was unfun. And if you, I don't know if anybody's been here like for a while since I've been streaming, but if you were here early in the stream, you were probably like, man, I don't think I've ever seen Uncorrupt complain that much. He's turned into a big old baby. But once all of the Jackpot Rogues were gone, I feel like I really calmed down. Got myself composed. It's just that random trash, man. Reconnaissance and Jackpot. It's just so unfun. I think the support for that deck actually rotates, though. I'm pretty sure, like, Contraband Stash is gone. Maybe Tess. But either way, I think Jackpot is on its last legs as far as that kind of stuff goes. So... But that's actually going to do it for the stream, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I came up short on my goal, just playing some decks that didn't win. Really tightened it up towards the end of the stream and got down here. I want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for speaking to me in the chat. That's always nice and relaxing. Shout out again to Andy. Andy coming through with a little bit of help for the stream here. Andy, I really appreciate that. If you're still around, thank you so much. I'm going to be back for another live stream relatively soon, I think. I don't know exactly what my plans are, but it shouldn't be too much farther away. So thank you again so much. If you're playing out on the ladder, good luck to you. I hope you're able to find some success and hopefully more success than I'm currently finding. But I think I figured out what I want to do. Next time I'm going to try to climb, I'm going to kind of narrow down my deck roulette, maybe slot in a different deck, just to try to keep the variety up a little bit, and we're just going to go from there. Once again, I am Uncorrupt. Thank you so much, and I hope to be able to see you